Hello and welcome to Final Show Films. I'm the executive producer here, John Bates, and I've got a few pre-show notes for you. First of all, I'd like to thank our $25 tier supporters, Antitonic, Waterflame, Samantha Bates, and Maureen Montee, without whom we wouldn't be able to do much, especially not all the content that we put forward now. I also want to thank all the people that have joined on with us since the, I would say, successful experiment that was Midsummer Night's Stream. If you're interested in that, go check out our YouTube channel, where youtube.com/Sensaku, where we performed the world's first, as far as we're aware, live stream production of a community theater performance of A Midsummer Night's Dream. That sounds like a lot of qualifiers. It's more just because that's the way I talk. Please go enjoy them, give us feedback, let us know if you'd like to see more of that in the future. If you'd like to support us financially, you can do so on our Patreon page at patreon.com/FSFilms. You can also follow us on Twitter at Final Show Films, or follow me personally at John A. Bates for all future updates and live notifications for our live stream. In the meantime, sit back, relax, enjoy. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Gran Terra Rebirth. John, the Game Master for the evening, and a couple corrections quick before we go into the introductions. We do have a new video intro that will be coming out soon. I'm editing it currently, so it hasn't finished yet. But we have changed a lot of our stuff. Obviously, those of you watching on Twitch know that our Twitch channel is now Final Films. In addition to that, our YouTube channel is also Final Films. It'll be reflected in the new video intro that I recorded before. Anyways, again, I'm the Game Master, and joining me today is William.
Hi, I'm William, and I'm playing Gashkar Stormcaller, the half-orc barbarian sorceress.
And Mara.
Hi, I'm Mara. I'm playing Hope Asmar Rogue Barbarian Revenant. Also, we have a website. You should check it out.
Yes, we do, and it is awesome.
It's pretty. FinalShowFilms.com.
It is in progressly.
It's very under construction, but it's pretty.
I think it says under construction on the main
It
page.
does.
Way down at the bottom of the page, but that's because everything up until then is stellar, and then at the bottom also under construction.
And also joining me this week is Cody.
Hey, I'm Cody. I'm playing Corbin, the human battle master.
And Jeremy.
Hello, I am Jeremy. I am Harry, halfling battle master fighter / rogue.
And Aaron.
Hi, I'm Erin, and I'm playing Lulu, the halfling and cleric.
And Jack.
Hey everybody, I'm Jack. I'm playing Gwynfron Minar, High Elf Divination Wizard, as well as Ashkill, the Wood Elf Warlock who lives in his brain.
And last we left off, the group had continued on into the tower, into the next level of the tower, only to discover that in this particular section, something had gone drastically wrong. After finding a group of demon guards dead and occupied by some sort of alien oil, the group tried a couple things on them, including but not limited to fire, ice, and lightning. Lightning, it seems, activated whatever was inside them, causing a short skirmish with beings made of metal that seemed to have grown inside the corpses of these demons and infected anything that they touched, turning it into metal as well. Lulu coughed up a part of her appendix, having purged herself of the oil, and through some examination and casual summoning of archwizards, they determined that this oil was extra multidimensional in nature, and as such, it functioned. I mean, that's an accurate term as well. As such, it functioned oddly against the magic of their plane, in that it corrupted and absorbs essence of this plane, turning it into like itself, which causes magic to not function properly, means that it's very difficult to cure if it gets inside you, and a bunch of other things that are basically warning the party to be cautious around this stuff. That's where we left off, with Galadir having been summoned. Galadir getting summoned, sacrificing himself to learn more information about it, then putting down his slowly subsuming corpse, and then summoning another Galadir, who then gathered the information and relayed that information. Who is still there?
Yep.
Well, so seems that if we're going to be wandering around and taking a bit of perspective on these things, we should all try to keep our distance as best as we can. Although I do wonder what would happen to Eshkill if I got fully... Yeah, let's not experiment with that.
Please don't.
Galadir looks over. That's what clones are for.
Remind me to rummage through your library sometime when you have time and are feeling generous.
No, don't let him get clones. That would be worse.
Looks up.
Yeah,
You're
would
a
that make
weird dude,
Ash
Galadir.
kills?
Galadir just shrugs.
Ooh, that's a good question, actually. Would Ashkill get duplicated? I don't think so. I think you could get rid of him that way.
I wouldn't really call it getting rid of.
It depends on your perspective on these things, I guess.
Look, I've got almost as much right to this body as the original inhabitant does. Not
No, you
quite, but almost.
Why?
Almost.
I mean, you had your chance at fixing this,
We are,
and
from a certain metaphysical perspective, we are practically the same person.
I mean, one could argue that you literally are the same person, just using strange voices. Theoretically.
I was wondering why Harry was getting into a metaphysical conversation, and then it was just because you're just making voices.
Because you're
Look,
making
This is
shit up.
this is not the United Kingdom of Gwynferon. This is a very specific and unique reincarnative system of, you know what? This discussion
We can do this when
later.
we're not surrounded by
Yes,
metal things that want to
exactly,
take up
right. So
everything
So
else.
if we were
nobody touches the Evo. Everybody interacts with it from a distance if possible. I am very sorry for, wow, literally all of you except me. Okay.
So if we were to separate the two parts, would that be a Gran Terexit?
I mean,
I feel your hate, Aaron, and I appreciate it.
I've never seen a halfling explode, but Corbin's about to watch. No.
Lulu does not care. Behind the screen, Aaron is about to murder Jeremy.
I mean,
Come on, that was a good
you
one.
two do live in the same
Nothing
cities,
good.
so it's easier for the two of you, particularly.
Mhm.
Harry, do you
Yeah.
want disposable weapons? Because I'm assuming you don't want your axes to get noodle, rubberfied, whatever those.
I mean, no, I do
Okay,
not want.
logistically, can any of us fight at a distance?
Yeah.
I
Ish.
can. Yes, as I pull out my bow.
Anybody, I have literally an armory full of swords and spears in my.
Do
Were you
have
even
any daggers?
listening?
Yeah.
You were clearly not paying very much attention. Just because you have disposable spears is not.
It's useful.
I mean,
We need
being able thrown
Lulu
weapons.
is just going to emphatically point at the bit of herself that she coughed up. You will not be able to survive that, but go ahead.
I mean, you're talking about ranged versus melee.
Yes, I'm not talking about having disposable weapons because that will not matter. Yeah, you won't lose your stuff. Have fun not.
You still die.
I thought the whole point, what we were talking about before, though, was getting in there without having to touch or fight these things.
Yes,
That
the
Yeah,
more,
best case scenario.
Better, yes.
yes, the more relevant situation is that this has become a stealth mission.
Yep.
It's a stealth mission.
Into Sorry, my dog's making noises. Into the castle, we think. Probably.
Most likely.
In the castle, we had already seen that it's like a weird. It's a weird.
Yeah, upon further inspection, the walls of the castle do seem interestingly smooth and reflective.
It's got an
Before
interesting shimmer.
we activate that with like before that stuff got activated with the lightning, did it? Because if we're gonna walk inside a castle, that's a whole building made out of this shit.
Yep. Yep,
So
it is.
Before it gets activated, is it volatile?
It was
Not
when it was inside, but the second it was physically touched, the substance itself, which the castle is, was touched, it started assimilating things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as the oil inside of it specifically.
well. What say we take a little bit of a stroll up
They-
to the castle and get a closer look?
Sounds good.
I'll follow behind you at a distance, Galadir says.
Sweet. So noble. So brave. Let's go.
Those are two things I've never claimed to be.
Yep. Uh-huh. Don't know why I said it.
I got my bow out.
All right, so the group of you head further north. Following the path as it continues along this river off to your side, which bends, and now that you're closer, you can see that the river actually becomes a natural moat for the castle. The moat that you guys saw from a distance is just this river, with the forest off to one side, the river passing over. You head north until you hit the bend, turn west, and follow the road along a little bit further where it terminates at the bridge that leads over to the castle. The bridge, you notice, is not made of metal. It is entirely stone. It seems like it hasn't been modified or changed or assimilated. The walls, however, now that you're just across the bridge and river from the castle, are definitely that same silvery metal that the grass, the creatures, and Lulu's internal organs became.
All
Why
of it.
isn't-
There's ground touching. I'm trying to figure out how this stuff like spreads when it's not in a person.
Mhm.
So the ground is around like where the walls meet the ground. That's normal. The grass that
Yeah.
brushes up against this castle is normal.
Yep. It's just the brick. What would have been bricks are this metal instead.
Why is this bridge not affected?
I'm assuming nothing died on this bridge. If
Alternatively, it might primarily assimilate more readily to living tissue than non-living tissues. Materials in this case.
Time or be holding to a singular structure if it has some internal sense of self.
Jack, you did see that it did affect the weapons that were used against.
Oh,
it.
that's right. That's right.
The
That's right.
the magical weapons, including it just wasn't as effective on the sentient magical weapons.
That's right.
What about this water?
The water seems to just be water.
Well, I mean, I doubt the Evo would affect that. Oil and water tend not to mix terribly well.
Is that something we can test?
do you really want to? Because
Yes, let me go grab a handful of the oil. I'll be right back.
maybe not into the river, because then it could literally change everything it touches from that point on. So maybe just let's get a.
Yeah, why don't we
Does
just
anybody have a
scoop the
bucket?
water out and splash it at the castle?
I imagine a bucket is sort of the idea he has, Galadir says from a little bit further behind you, as Gwenfron trots off.
Quite sarcastic and was not actually walking away.
Okay.
But no, if we can actually test that, learning the limits and potential weaknesses of this seems like important information to have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm taking out a cup.
If water seems to counteract it for some reason, that would be important information.
Yeah, I want to take a cup out of my pack and like scoop some water out of the river and
Yeah,
roll over.
you hang down a little bit, scoop some water out.
I don't suppose any of you have any soap with you.
Yes, actually. Also chalk. A lot of ball bearings. A bunch of random junk, actually. I got real into collecting random junk for a bit there. I go and fling the water at the castle wall.
It splashes against the wall.
It does not change.
It does not
into
change into anything.
Okay.
That's also just the surface, not necessarily the oil.
This is true.
How far back are those bodies?
About 15-minute walk.
It's a little far.
I-
Do you think this wall?
Bodies?
Do you think this wall would bleed if we cut it?
Gwyn pulls out his longbow and just puts an arrow into the wall. Punk.
The arrow hits and breaks as an arrow would do when shot into a metal wall.
I'm taking the walk back to get bodies.
Yes, but what is happening to the fragments of the arrow?
It doesn't seem to have been changed as
Okay.
Harry walks off.
All right.
I have chalk. I have a piece of chalk. I'm gonna take that.
Not too close, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
I mostly want to see
Drop
what the,
it. Run away.
I mostly want to see what water does when exposed to the oil.
You hit the wall with the chalk?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and hit it and like make a mark.
Okay, you hit the wall with the chalk. The chalk, and then hits the ground.
Does the chalk mark on the wall stay?
Yes.
Does it change?
No.
Okay.
Gwyn will go over, grab the largest piece of this now broken chunk of chalk, and making sure not to come into physical contact himself with the wall, draw a frowny face on it.
You successfully draw a frowny face on the wall.
Lulu will carefully bottle some of the water,
All right.
or with like an empty potion bottle or something.
Sure.
And hand it to Gashkar. If we head back towards the oil, we can test it with that.
I think Harry's going to get one of the bodies.
You look off. in the
Harry's not
distance.
supposed to grab the...
You see Harry at there's like a sort of a lone tree at the bend of the river, and you can see Harry passing by that tree by this point.
Is that beyond the message cantrip at this point?
What's the distance on the message cantrip?
I want to say 120 feet?
Pull out my Philo pack.
Yeah, it's a little bit beyond that, yeah.
Yeah, it's 120 feet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Harry's not the wisest, but Harry is still smart enough to not shove her hands into the oil of these things. I feel like she can be trusted to try and drag a body without exposing herself to the oil.
Fair enough.
Uncork the bottle. I splash it on the stone.
You splash the water on the stone.
No, acid this time.
People not understand nothing of contagion.
Oh, on the so you're splashing
Right.
acid on the metal.
Yes.
Okay. You dump the acid on it.
Yep.
It sizzles, but it doesn't seem to actually do anything to the metal.
All right. Well, I think we've determined primarily that the oil, the Evo, is the primary method of contagion. And if this is just metal, it's probably going to be fine.
Yeah, I don't think it
As long as we're not
becomes
exposed.
sentient unless it possesses a sentient.
I wouldn't test that with lightning against this building.
I'm not going to either.
No.
You just hit it with lightning, it becomes Alexander. Just brrr.
Just Alexander Final
Final
Fantasy.
Fantasy boss fight.
It's a hypothesis I don't want to test.
But
Yeah.
either
Even from
way,
distance.
the primary threat that we should avoid making contact with is not the surface metal, but rather the oil within.
Exactly.
Harry,
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
you get to the bodies.
Uh-huh.
They are mostly in pieces, having had the bits of flesh exploded off of the metallic interior frames. What are you trying to grab? The metal, like in the interior metal, the bodies, or the ooze?
Definitely not the fucking ooze.
Okay.
Harry's not dumb.
All right.
The bodies, assuming that that they're not gonna get dripped on, she is going to literally pile up all of the bodies and carry them back because Harry has a strength of 25.
Okay. So all
Physics
of the
is a problem here. I understand.
yeah.
But you will balance.
All of the metal bodies are covered in this ooze. And as you sort of look at the disembodied bits that had been sort of sloughed off, the
Right.
meat that was there is mostly liquid at this point. They're not really
As a
solid.
reminder, we all have a telepathic bond.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
I know.
The meat that would have been flesh is now mostly just barely held together goo. That is just hiding more of this oil-covered metal interior.
You may just kind of have to hook him on a stick or something and drag him like that.
See if you can
So
get
there's
him-
not there's no real, without cleaning them off somehow, there's no real way of touching the bodies without also touching oil.
Do you have a
What the
grappling
fuck do
hook?
we want these things for?
I want to test how the oil interacts with water.
Don't drag them. You'll get more of the earth muddy.
Stop being judgy. I'm going to are there other Hold
It's
on.
probably going to be more
Thought.
efficient to carry the water to the
Yes, let's just
oil.
start walking.
than-
Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
let's take 15
mhm.
minutes and walk over there. I'll carry that
I
bottle
mean,
of water.
there are things I can do, but I really don't want to ruin my belongings.
Yeah,
So-
let's keep it simple.
I will carry the water over.
Okay. So the group of you head back. You get back to where the bodies are and where Harry's sort of like standing there looking at the bodies, trying to figure out how to move them without touching them.
At which point, yeah, is when we get there, I will sort of very carefully try and find a spot where the oil is very obvious and visible, and I can see what it might interact with, and just kind of pour some of the water onto it.
Right? You pour water onto the oil, and it just sort of slips off.
Does the water interact with the oil at all?
It seems it interacts like water and oil do, where it's sort of like they don't really merge, and it just sort of slides away.
Mm-hmm. That's actually a lot of interesting information because that is the first thing that has not been infected by this oil.
So we need bubble suits.
But non-magical ones because it can interact with magic.
Yep.
Right.
We
I
just
have
flood the castle?
I have an empty potion bottle. Can you use Mage Hand, Gwyn, to scoop up some of that oil and put it in a bucket of water so that we see what it does when it's submerged in water?
That's actually a rather interesting idea. And he will cast Mage Hand and see if he can pick up some of the oil with this disembodied
You can
conjured hand.
you can. It begins rapidly eating away at the mage hand. But you can like melty hand it over from one location to another if you need to.
Okay. Yeah, no, his initial experiment is just scoop up some of it with the hand and see how long he can hold it
It
without
takes
really moving it.
it takes about 4 rounds
Okay.
for it to melt, for it to eat through the mage hand.
Right. So almost not quite 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And then right. Well, there's some information. Sure, set the container down
Set the bucket of
somewhere.
water down.
Yep.
and he'll blurp some of the oil into the bucket of water.
Okay. So the oil sinks past the water.
Right. More dense than the water.
The water sort of sits on top of it. And you sort of watch as the bucket begins to change from the bottom up
Mm-hmm.
until the bucket is nothing but this silvery metal with water and oil in it.
And then another mage hand to scoop out some of just the water if he can, because I assume they're still kind of separated.
Yeah, they're still
right?
separate. Yeah, the mage hand flips up the water. It's perfectly fine.
Okay. Well, the water seems to be something that the Evo is not terribly interested in.
That's surprisingly helpful, but difficult to make use of.
Or the
Yes.
air, thankfully.
Yes. So,
If we know where well, we have to cleanse the beacon, right? That's a whole thing, because right now it's all covered in this oil.
well, and
If it
bear
is,
in mind
we
that
don't want to.
best we can tell, there is a central focal origin for the oil in this little pocket dimension that we
Yep.
have. And likely destroying or banishing that will have an effect on the rest of the oil as it exists in this location from what we were able to ascertain, more or less.
Galadir from off to one side. Why do you say the beacon is covered in oil?
I was saying that if the beacon did get infected by this oil, then that might be really bad if it spread across the rest of the plane. I didn't say it was, just that if it was, that would be particularly dangerous.
Well, we do have
Image
some.
of it.
We do have somewhat of an inkling that it might be, because the typical appearance of our preparation room in this tower was darkened and not in typical fashion, which
Yeah.
Yes,
the,
but
corruption of this
the
oil.
stick that we saw was blackened, not silvered, but yes.
Right. So, but correlation not being causation, we won't actually know if the Evo is affecting the beacon proper or just this. The beacon is reflecting that because of the influence of this material on.
More before we go in, I have another thought.
Yes.
So demons have been corrupting the tower, and we suspect that the demons don't like this stuff, but their presence here could have helped facilitate or paid witness to this stuff forming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do we happen to know the kinds of magic and names we would need to get a demon that might know what was being done in the tower here?
I mean, I can.
Interrogate / ask for an alliance, probably interrogate.
Potentially, but that sort of magic has been very slapdash at best regarding the tower. Like it works fine for most things, but the tower doesn't seem to. The tower seems to be existing kind of outside the rest of reality to an extent that most other planes do not.
So we can grab the clones of elven wizards, but not demons when we need to ask questions?
What I'm saying is that the grabbing the demon wouldn't be the difficult bit. It would be finding anyone that really knows specifically. That sort of knowledge seems to be less accessible than one might hope it should be.
Finding someone who has the information that we want.
Yeah.
And
I thought we were pretty confident that the demons in the tower had an outside help.
But we don't know anything about their outside help or who.
No.
We can, I mean, I'm willing to give it a try, but my usual contacts seem to be less informed than honestly they should be about even the less savory of those contacts.
The people we faced in Kalen's castle. Something like that. That's my only guess as to who is.
I'm happy to take the time to do the ritual, and I can definitely take care of that as quickly as possible, or we can continue on with our own observations since we're already here.
I think at
I
the
leave it
moment-
up to the rest of you.
I think at the moment we need to press on and just try and avoid puncturing anything in this environment.
So we have to see then if walking into this castle is going to do anything. It seems to be contained by the stone, right? Should we go back and test that?
Somebody's gonna have to go in at some point.
You only live once, unless you're Hope, and I keep walking.
Stop. I'm the only one who has any. If it starts corrupting again, I'm the only one who can purge it, so I'll go first.
Not a bad tactical analysis, Harry.
Fine, as long as we stop talking and start doing.
Let's go.
Nope. You head back up north and west around the bend, back to the bridge, where you have this strangely metallic castle staring you down. The gate, the sort of what you can tell is a portcullis and large wooden gate is open. The portcullis is raised. The gate is open. You can see that the sort of the stone path that you're on continues on as a paved road into the courtyard proper.
Where does the courtyard itself also seem untouched?
Yes.
Okay.
From what you
Then
know. Yeah.
that way.
Lulu, a thought actually.
Mm-hmm.
You have the power to purge it, but can't you do that to others?
Kind of. I can only press to others the opportunity.
Yes, and
So
my thought is perhaps not expose our only method of attempting to purge that to the substance and perhaps put those who are most able to resist it in front. It seems to be something that can be resisted with sheer strength of physiology, which is, try and avoid bragging, is my specialty.
fine.
Out of game, a plus 13 con save is real helpful.
Yeah.
I mean,
Also, Hope, don't forget, you've still got foresight.
Yep.
All right. So
So if you want me to sneak in case there are more of those demons in here.
You haven't been paying attention.
Oh, okay. Fine. I was paying attention when, a troop of demons came out and got themselves killed, but, we're probably trying to, I don't know, get rid of a source of oil that they had with them. So I'm assuming there are still demons in there somewhere. That's what I was paying attention to.
We'll find out if we can get in there first.
Yeah.
So Gashcard, you walk through the portcullis.
Yep.
All right, you walk through the portcullis. In the courtyard, you see off to your right a series of hedges. Off to your left, another series of sort of bushes and rose bushes. It seems like this is sort of a tended garden within the courtyard. There are a couple of trees on either side of the path that leads up to what appears to be the doors to this place, which are that same metal. You don't see any evidence of people on the outside of this castle. Though there does seem to be off to the right, sort of the front, where the entrance to the castle is, the doors, is sort of jutted out slightly. So there are two little crannies that exist between what you would assume is the entryway and the walls. On the left-hand side, there's just some bushes, and on the right-hand side, there appears to be a gated-off mausoleum of some kind.
Are those bushes made of metal?
No, the bushes are not made of metal.
It definitely seems to have been contained to the material of this castle, and not necessarily everything inside of it.
Safe. Can we see Kashkar as she goes through?
Yeah,
Or...
you watch Kashkar
And
go
And
through.
we're also on a psychic link, so I can
Yeah.
communicate to all of you. I'm beginning. This place is making me awfully suspicious. I'm beginning to wish that I also had that foresight spell.
You notice.
Sorry, I've only got one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, you notice that the doors are closed, but they are not like melded. They are doors still. So there's a crack. There are hinges. There are handles.
I'm about to open these doors, and if
Do you
something
want me to
comes
take a
out,
look at that and see if it's trapped?
take an inspection.
Okay. I'm gonna walk in and sneak up to the door.
Give me a stealth
Listen
check.
first. Okay.
Since you're sneaking up to the door.
Yes.
Could you come take a look at this door? Already here. What the fuck?
30.
You sneak up to the door. You're confident nobody saw you move to the door.
Listening to hear if I can hear any sounds of things inside, anything.
Give me a perception check.
Okay. 23.
You don't hear anything.
Okay. Is the door locked?
Do you try it, or you just sort of like inspect it?
I'm looking at it. I'm not touching anything
Not
yet.
touching anything? I mean, it doesn't look like it has a lock. So if it is locked, it would be barred from the inside rather than locked traditionally. You'd have to try to open it to confirm, but there doesn't seem to be like a keyhole or anything.
If everything looks fine, clear off for a minute.
Okay. I back around the side to kind of stay out of sight.
I will open the doors, preparing to dodge out of the way of anything that might come launching out at me.
So you reach out and grab the metal handles of this door, realizing that they're all the same material all the way through. But the handles strangely still move as if they were... It's this odd sensation of flexibility within the metal.
Organic metals. It's not good.
So you lift it up and pull, and it pulls open quietly, very quietly. Almost again, typically when you're opening a heavy door, there's the sound of it moving, but it seems like this metal is strangely rigid and flexible in all the different places to make this door open smoothly. And it opens up. Inside, you see a red carpet, sort of a red carpet leading up to a series of stairs that goes to another door. The carpet is metal, but still this red color rather than silver, which is a slight change from what you've seen outside. The floor around it is equally metal, but more of that silvery color rather than the red. And there seems to be a chest off to your immediate left, like a large wooden, well, not wooden, metal, a large metal chest that was probably formerly wooden, off to one side of the door.
That's suspicious. The placement of this material and what it does and doesn't affect and how it affects it almost seems to be artistic.
Or at least intentional.
Designed, yes.
Weird. I don't
You
like
think
it.
this was something demons found and decided to use it on building materials, and then
I think the demons found something sentient.
Who knows?
Something sentient that decided it wanted a new castle.
Maybe. We have to
Well,
find
as
the
long as it doesn't decide it wants a new wizard.
What if we follow the carpet then? If that's red, maybe it's kind of trying to start to.
Do you want to check that
What
chest
it's
before you
done.
move any? Do you want to check that chest before you move any further?
I would remind everyone of what happened the last time we came in and checked the first chest that we found.
That's why I say check and not open.
What happened?
Okay.
Mimics happened.
Harry.
I mean,
Here's
yeah, that worked out just fine. However, I will acknowledge we didn't have the current complications we have this time.
Here's my thought. When we first found those corpses, they didn't even respond when, fireballs and stuff. They didn't respond to anything but until the lightning hit. If that remains consistent, I don't see why we don't sneak through this castle, ignoring everything possible until we find the beacon, and work from the beacon outward.
All right, but if I get hit by a trap because we're trying to sneak through and not inspect, I'm going to blame you.
If we find the beacon, I don't want to be near it. If we find the beacon, it's going to do that floating thing and snap on, and then there's going to be a hammer, and there's nothing we can do to stop it.
Yeah, let me enter rooms first in case the beacon is there.
Very much so.
So ignoring the chest?
Yeah, let's
For
keep
now.
moving down the carpet.
All right.
Stare at it.
Yeah.
As we go away, sort of beady eye.
Give me a perception check, Hope.
Ignoring the chest is our stated objective currently. I'm not in control of what happens with Harry and Hope as we walk past this.
Perception or investigation?
Perception. You're not touching it, so not necessarily.
27.
I mean, it doesn't look like it's locked.
It's not a good thing.
I'm gonna stare at it for a minute. Keep walking.
I'm trying to see if I smell demons as we keep going.
Give me a perception check. And I'm assuming everyone's following in through the front door into the foyer. Yep. So you have, while that perception check is being rolled in the foyer, once you're actually inside properly, you see that there are hallways going off to the left and right, as well as a staircase going up that the red carpet's going up. There's a door at the end of the red carpet, and the hallways to the left and right curve off to the left, curve off respectively to the right and then left. So the left hallway curves to the right hallway curves to the left.
So they're doing this thing.
That's weird geometry. Okay.
It's normal geometry when you're at the front wall of a building.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
That's
can't.
the front wall
Sorry.
of a building.
I'm so bad at direction now. Okay.
It's forming the bottom half of a square currently.
Okay, fine. All right.
The halls go like this.
Okay. Well, if we're trying to find the beacon, are you gonna do that spell you did before?
That was my initial thought. Because locate object has a range of, I think, 1,000 feet.
Yes.
Yeah. Do I think from where I'm standing that will at least cover a large section, if not the entirety of this castle? Or is this castle more than a quarter mile in dimension?
This castle is a fairly small one. Just judging from the outside exterior, it's not the biggest castle you've ever seen. So yeah, you probably would cover the entire thing.
All right. We're casting locate object on the fragment of the beacon that we saw when we came in.
You get no hits.
Son of a bitch.
This material does eat your magic. It would make sense that it wouldn't be able to penetrate.
Or it's not in the castle.
Or it's not in the castle.
Well, we have to investigate and see if we can find it, or wherever this starts from.
Well, let's keep
Forward.
moving. Shall we follow the carpet?
Good a choice as any.
Yeah.
And what does Lulu get? I know Aaron is away, but does Lulu find anything noteworthy?
There's 20 perception. Lulu does not smell any demons, no.
Okay.
So we're totally surrounded by this material now, right? Like it's all the rooms and the floor and all that. I'm gonna just try divine sense to see what I get from that. So
Sure.
I'll throw that in chat real quick. So I get one more use after this, but if it smells evil, or if it's evil, it smells bad. But if there's any celestial fiends or undead within 60 feet besides Hope too.
You do not get any pings on your divine sense aside from Hope.
Okay. Well, this material doesn't smell inherently evil.
Let's the carpet seems to be leading towards some manner of main rooms, so let's see where it goes.
All right.
Do this room.
All right. So front runners keeping an eye out for traps. I will watch the rear.
Yep. Yeah.
You head down the the carpet, or up the carpet, I should say, up the stairs that it's on to a doorway at the far end. The doorway is flanked by four braziers, which are currently unlit. And there is a door. Are you just opening the door?
Well, first, do I sense any traps, and maybe hope to?
Yeah,
I
think.
Give me some perception check.
Okay.
25.
28.
So you do get the feeling that there is or was a trap here at one point in time. However, upon inspection and sort of like looking, you find the mechanics of the trap, but it seems to have melded in with the rest of the floor when whatever happened to change it happened to change it.
Does it seem like it's not functional now?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, like all the bits that move are supposed to move independently of one another to make the trap happen no longer move independently of one another to make the trap happen.
Which is odd because the doors still function independently.
Yeah.
Maybe we gotta shock it.
The door is also more obvious than the trap is, so you don't know what those two things might mean.
Yeah.
The what?
I said the door.
The door is more of an obvious function than the trap is.
Yeah, you can't tell what the function of the trap is by looking at it. Aaron, you're muted.
Taking the concept and replicating it, so something that's obfuscated is just sort of smoothed over.
Well, let's see what's on the other side of this door then.
Right.
I will open the door.
You open the door. Inside, you see what appears to be a throne room. The area you're on right now is sort of a sub-level that has these sort of steep walls on either side, on sort of left on either side of it, surrounding it, where there is a walkway, where you see armored individuals who are sort of collapsed on the ground at various places. As immediately ahead of you, there's sort of a rising staircase that slopes up to become level with the walkways. And at the far end of that, there are a pair of thrones, in which there are two more figures that are sort of slumped over, and a door further behind them. In here, you are noticing bits of oil on the ground and walls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are demonic figures again?
Yes.
I am assuming.
They look kind of like those soldiers did out there, like they were demons posing as humanoids. But have since gone that sort of pale white.
Quickly looking over the room, does it look like they were fighting each other, or is there bodies of those metal things too?
Give me an investigation. Give me an investigation check, real quick.
I don't.
Yeah, I'm looking at oil patterns to see if I can figure out like a source, like if it's coming from.
Sure, give me an investigation check.
Do I see movement of any kind anywhere in this room?
Give me a perception check.
I'll join on the perception check if that's okay.
Yep, go ahead.
22.
So, Corbin, it doesn't look like there was a fight. From what you can tell, it looks like they collapsed where they were standing or sitting, in the case of the figures on the thrones. Hope, the oil splatters would seem to indicate that there was a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking back to how sort of the oil splashed as you guys fought the metallic creatures. But the bodies are not lining up with the splashes.
Okay. Like
as if they moved or have been moved after the fight. But the oil hadn't been. Gashkar, there is absolutely no movement other than your party. Same thing with when Franz roll.
Okay.
It is perfectly still except for you.
I don't like this.
The oil on the wall isn't even dripping.
No, I think this has reset itself.
We should move very quietly if we're going to pass through this.
Quite reasonable.
I stand still.
Yeah.
I can do that for 10 minutes.
I can try and cross,
Keep Hope near the beacon because Hope has the other part of the beacon.
unless I give this to one of you.
Okay, we need someone to stay with the beacon because we're not just going to leave it on the floor here.
Yeah.
Corbin can't move through here stealthily.
Not easily.
We do have a psychic link.
Yep. You want to take this and I'll try and cross the room and get that door open on the other side? There's a door open on the other side, right?
There's a door on the other side, yes.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And see what's beyond there?
Sure.
Okay. I will hand you the beacon.
Be careful.
I'll try. And there's not really any place to hide in here. It's very open, right?
It's intentionally so that people that are coming to see
Yep.
the king and queen are
Mhm.
overlooked by
Here's-
guards.
Yep.
I understand there are mirrors, but it's a demon place, so I feel like it's reasonable. Also, you didn't mention any specific light sources. How dim is it?
It's fairly dim.
Is
It's not.
technically dim light.
It is dim light, but it is not darkness. There is some form of ambient light that is not presented by torches or windows.
But there's a mechanical context to what constitutes dim light.
Yes. Your thing does work.
If we want me to move first, I've got the best shot, but can't get the door open.
I can get across and get the door open. I mean, if worst comes to worst, I can run across that. I run fast right now.
You can also
Alright, this-
both go.
Or I can
What I was
fly.
suggesting, yes.
Yep. Okay.
You can't fly. You just gave the beacon to Corbin.
That's right. Dang it.
Alright.
Curses.
Any of you
Okay.
who want to go quietly now.
Lulu and I.
Make stealth checks.
Okay.
23, that's not great.
25. Also not great.
All right, the
As
two.
they get above 20 numbers.
Yeah.
We
Matt-
can't roll, though. We both have a plus more than 10 bonus.
Yep.
Which means you both rolled above a 10.
I rolled 11. It's not great.
Anyways,
With advantage. That's the thing.
you both move quietly up the ramp to the thrones, past the thrones, to the door.
I look at the door. Check to see.
It again,
Trapped.
it
if
again,
it's got oil on it.
it again does not have any sort of visible keyhole that would be a lock. So if it is locked, it would be barred from the other side. It does not appear to be splattered with oil. It is the same metal that everything else is, though.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna open it.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
You open
Shot it.
the door.
Yep.
You find yourself staring at a hallway that runs east to west. There's carpeted floor, 4 metal statues flanking either side of the door you're looking through, and 2 doors at either end of the hallway.
Statues as in Statues as in
I don't-
actual statues,
hang on.
or statues as in things like the people outside?
Statues.
Does anyone else hear an
Yeah,
alarm?
yeah, I'm hearing like an alarm.
Yeah, there's an alarm going off.
Is it going off in your house?
Nope, not mine.
Hmm.
I'm hearing it in my headphones.
Yeah, same.
It stopped, so I don't know where it was coming from. Anyways, they look like they were they look like statues, not people.
Okay.
They
cool.
are the same metallic material though.
Okay. We'll stand there for a sec as Aaron comes back so we can. Okay. So, one each, or
And Aaron is still muted and typing something.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. Yep.
We will. No, we do
There
not.
definitely is an alarm going off at my place. I think I moved things so that it's not so loud.
Yeah, we can't hear it anymore.
I can't
so.
hear it anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's on my end.
Okay.
All right.
So to reiterate again, there is a hallway. There are 4 statues, 2 on either side of the door that you're looking through, and at the other end of either hallway there is a door. Of
Alright.
either direction.
Do they look the same kind of? They'd be barred if anything doors, or did these
Yes,
ones
yeah, they'd be barred if anything doors.
and no oil on either.
No, there doesn't seem to be any open oil in this hallway.
All right,
Okay.
I'll give a nod. And head
One
off.
each.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go
East or west?
Right.
Right, so east. Right, you head east. Lulu heads west. You both come to a door.
All right. Examine it more closely just in case, because
Okay.
I'm paranoid.
Yep.
Go ahead, give me a perception check.
Okay. 25.
Do not seem to be trapped.
Okay.
Either door.
3, 2, 1.
Open the doors. You find yourself staring at yet another hallway with a raised section. Similarly to how the sort of throne room was set up, there is a hallway that curves and heads south, both sides. And as it goes south, there is a raised section with actually a ladder. From this angle, you can actually see a ladder that's used to climb up to the raised section, where there are yet more bodies of what seem to be guards, but collapsed on the ground and oil splattered on the walls.
We had to split up. There's the
Yeah.
hallway branched.
It seems like they loop around to meet each other, but I know that we were, as I understood it, we were heading north because that's where Gwen's ping was.
Gwen didn't get
I'm
a
trying
ping.
to get a.
Yeah,
Oh.
Gwen didn't have a ping. It was just we were following the path.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So do these seem like the kind of things that go up to be a single rafter story, or is it just tubes?
Yeah, it may very well be a thing that connects to each other. You can't see any doors or pathways from the ground floor, which would be by design. But it would make sense for it to be sort of an interconnecting thing, so guards could patrol, both hallways without necessarily being seen by anyone trying to sneak through the hallway.
Yep.
Lulu will, I guess, to everyone, because Hope doesn't like direct communication. I'll loop through the passage back towards you, so we can meet up.
Okay. I'm gonna stay here.
Right.
So I'll stay stationary while she goes.
Yep. So I'm sliding up with that general sense that this probably is mirror imaging and heading that way.
Right. Are you going to climb up to the guard area or just heading down the hallway on the lower level?
I'm probably gonna. You said there was splatter from where the guards were.
Yes, there is oil on the wall and bodies
Okay.
up on the
Is
guard
that
rafters.
avoidable if I go past the guard area, or no?
It's tight because it seems like the guard area is meant for single file, but you could with some effort avoid touching the oil of the bodies.
The guard area, if I understand, is much more likely to loop back around. Or are they both equally likely?
They're both equally likely to loop back around. Sorry,
Okay.
I thought you
Then
were
I'm
asking if the
not
rafters
going the
were
risky
connected.
route.
Sorry, I thought you were just asking earlier if the rafter areas were connected. But yes,
No, just if this hallway loops to the hallway that Hope is at.
this hallway seems like it might loop around. Yes.
Okay.
All right, so you head south down your hallway. There's another door at the southern end of the hallway.
Check it.
Perception check.
Yep.
Doesn't seem to be locked. Doesn't seem to be any oil on it either. Open the door.
Push it up.
Open the door. You come into another section of hallway. This one eventually ends on in the south and hooks back east. You can more easily tell that there is a walkway in this one because it bridges across just a little bit further away south. So there's like these two. You see these two walkways where the guards would be, and a bridge. More guard bodies and oil on the top. At the far end, you see that there is a staircase that leads up, sort of at the far end where the hallway hooks around west, further south beyond that turn. There is a staircase that leads up to the level of the guard walkway, with a couple of unlit braziers at the top of that.
Okay. I will. I'll head back towards where Hope is. Just generally relaying to everyone what I'm seeing as I go.
So, continuing south and then hooks looping around?
Yeah.
Okay.
You said that the next door sort of takes a turn?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
So you turn west, or turn east and look at, and there's a door in front of you, and I'm assuming you look at it again. Give me another perception roll.
Yep.
Doesn't seem trapped. Push open the door, and you find yourself back in the foyer, the entryway that you guys were in previously. This is the hallway that went off to the. This is the hallway that went off to the east, and came around. Or west. Sorry, went off to the west. Continue on down across to the other door on the eastern side. Give me another perception check. Seems fine. Push it open. This one is another hallway that turns north, very similar to the other one, but it's not mirrored. You notice that in this one, there's actually, along the eastern wall, there's a break where, similarly to how that bridge went over the hallway, this time there's a break underneath the walkway where in the other side it was just wall. That leads into a slightly more open area that you can sort of look in and see that there's a ladder that leads up to the guard walkway.
Okay.
And then there's a door on the northern wall of the sort of the same circular route.
Okay, because I'm not great at this. Wouldn't that door be open if Hope had opened it?
No, there's a door. The door you're looking at now would be the door on the southern end of the hallway that Hope is in.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go up and look at that one.
Yep, perception check. Yep, doesn't seem locked.
All right.
Push it open and Hope you can see Lulu coming into the door on the southern end of the hallway.
Okay, good. Slightly worried you disappear into a maze. I think
it just seems like that's a guard circuit and another hallway, but
okay. Should we check up on the upper level there? Make sure there's not anything? Get a better view.
I mean, I'd probably recommend flying. It's going to be dicey to go up there. Like I said, there's a lot of oil on that walkway. That's where all the corpses are.
I can't fly right now. I gave the beacon to Corbin. But
Gwen, do you have fly today?
Every day. We just never use it for some reason.
Can you sneak up to us, or
Sure.
we go back to you and grab a fly?
I'm sneaking.
Too?
Give me a stealth check, Gwenfron.
Boop. 12.
oh god.
You walk up the stairs between the two thrones, back to the door, into the hallway, and right up behind Hope. The rest of you watch Gwenfron do that.
Okay, it doesn't seem like anything reacted, even though that was not stealthy.
Even though Gwen has heard this, just to reiterate for Jack's benefit, we found 2 hallways that sort of circle into each other. There's a guard walkway above that hallway
Okay.
that was covered in guard bodies. So if we want to investigate if anything's up there, it seems like flying might be a way to avoid the oil.
So
Alright then.
after Gwen's display, Gashkar will kind of indicate to the others that it is probably clear, and we'll just make her way across.
All follow.
Whoever ends up holding the beacon should stay a bit back.
You all follow Gwenfron, ending up in this sort of northern hallway section on the back end of the throne room.
So,
As I look back through that door that leads into the throne room, is there anything I can see from this position where I'm looking from behind the thrones at where we had come from? It's like anything on the wall or anything like that.
Give me a perception check.
Perception. 27.
You see that there are doors in the far end of the guard walkways in the throne room that you couldn't see from the lower levels, that head off back south. You also see that the thrones are locked into the floor where they're at. They're not like they're not like movable. They are built into the floor, into the section of floor that they're on.
They're not furniture. They're part of the of the mason.
Yeah. Which is odd. Typically, like a throne would be designed and then moved so it could be moved around, but these two are planted part of the floor.
well, anyway, who needs up there?
I can, or
Okay.
Lou, or someone.
One or more.
Probably should be team stealth. How many people is the standard cast?
As a one.
Okay. Then Hope, if you need to dodge things up there, how's your dex? I always forget.
I'm okay. Mostly I have luck.
Hope is a strength-based rogue.
Yes,
So
I am.
does it
Girls.
from being the one
Ladies. Ladies. Boop. He boops both your noses. You both fly.
You say ladies as Aaron asks the GM a question that I'm still going to ask the GM.
That's
Yes.
fair.
Feel free.
So did it seem to me like up there, if if someone was flying, there'd still be a decent amount of weaving and like dex avoidance, careful avoidance.
If you're flying, you could just be up above the hallway that you were walking through, and you wouldn't have to touch
that's what I was
anything.
thinking.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure like how wide the walls were essentially.
Yeah, no. You could be in open air without ever touching the bodies of the oil.
All right, then I won't say that Lulu should probably go first because it's not a concern.
Yep. Right.
So fly up.
So the two of
I'm
you,
concerned about the numbers that are spontaneously appearing in chat.
Probably
Last 10
trying.
minutes.
Yeah, probably trying to stay near like the walkways. So if we're going up into like a thing of this, oil where it's going to destroy the magic that's holding us up, that I'm not going to fall or have a chance to grab onto something.
Okay.
So,
All right, so yeah, you fly up. I don't know why there are numbers in the Roll20 chat. Hopefully somebody will explain that.
I don't know.
I accidentally typed in there, and then
Okay.
Cody decided to throw numbers in too.
Yep, I decided I'd share.
Okay.
Cody was Spartacus.
That's what. Yep.
I'm Spartacus.
Just checking, because I didn't know if there was something I needed to have my attention
Counting
drawn to.
down.
Anyways. So yeah, the two of you fly up. You can see now that there are about 7 bodies on the upper floor here, with plenty of oil splotches on the walls. And at the far end, there are 2 doors on the upper level. There's one that is basically just above and to the north of the door you came through from that northern hallway. Looks like it probably cuts back across, although you didn't see a guard walkway in that hallway, so you have no idea where necessarily that door goes. And then there's another one to the south that looks like it continues on into that walkway area that Lulu saw in the lower section of this side of the castle.
Same thing. The bodies here look like the oil was splashed in a fight, and then the bodies are rearranged. Or
No, out here it looks more like they line up.
Okay.
Left where they fall.
Same thing. Try both doors, see where they go.
Right. The northern door. Are you checking them for traps, or are you just
Yeah.
trying to open them? All right, give me perception checks.
Are you going north, or am I going north, Lulu?
Aaron goes, that's geography. I have Decate.
Okay. I'll go south this time, actually. That makes sense.
Right. So neither of the doors you're looking at appear to be trapped.
Okay.
You
Open it?
you open them up. Lulu, inside the place that you find a much larger room. This one, it appears to be a secret overhang, a sort of overwatch. You can see down into that hallway where the rest of the party are. They can't see you though because of the way the wall is angled. Like the wall, you can see from above, this wall actually arcs up and over so that part of the floor becomes the ceiling in that hallway. So you can stand right above them and you're in complete darkness and you can look straight down at them and they don't see you.
All right. So, with that sort of general, so the rest of the party, so everyone who's in the psychic link, gets this general visual impression of the heads of that visual perspective of watching themselves from this unseen upper level.
You all get the haunted VHS tape of somebody recording you from behind you in the room while you're actually moving.
Yeah.
That's great.
Gwyn just kind of reaches over his whole shoulders and goes,
Peekaboo.
And you sort of see your hands doing that. It's weird.
Corbin
Yeah.
tries to find the camera he can't see.
You see yourself looking around at yourself. It's really weird.
Yeah. I immediately stopped because
The mirrors are fancy. I don't know how. Probably magic, but they're glass on this side, sort of.
No, it's not even glass. It's open air. It's just that the way the architecture is designed, it's designed with sort of hiding this section of the wall in mind. It's
Quick
Ar-
take
ar-
design notes for Castle Mayhem.
architectural illusions, by the way, are great. There's a stairwell, I can't remember what college it is, where you walk up and end up on the lower section of the stairwell. It's great. I love architectural illusions.
So Lulu understands that this is spatial distortion because she rolled an 18 on the intelligence save, but I was doing that intentionally.
Oh.
I just want to note.
Anyways, additionally to that overlook, in this room, it seems to be some sort of armory. and there are sort of like racks of weapons and shields and armor and guards on the ground covered in oil.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like something. It looks like there was probably a fight in here, and oil just sort of got splashed everywhere. And there is another door to the north. Hope, you see through your door, you find yourself on this overhang that looks down the hallway and down this open area. And on the far southern wall, a section that can't be seen from the floor, from the ground floor, there are a pair of braziers and another door that heads south.
Ooh, we need to build one of these in our castle. That'd be cool. Like you're sort of behind the
The
door.
more of this we do, the less and less comfortable I am having with letting the people from the city design it, because then it's going to be public record.
Oh no, we're going to kill the Masons.
Okay,
I have.
we're
objections.
joking, Hope.
Okay.
Are we though?
Although Gwyn does, since all of this is being relayed back, he's got a notebook out and he is just drawing
Oh,
sketches.
no.
Like, are we really joking?
No, you see,
Okay,
We're
the
joking about
Masons.
killing the Masons. Wiping their memory we can discuss when we're not in a demon castle.
I will point out the Masons would actually be from Undermount, and if we pay them enough money, they won't record anything.
Ooh.
You're not
Black
wrong.
market Masons.
Government corruption, I understand.
Yes.
I understand
keep
greed.
going.
It's less government corruption and more government oversight.
It's more the Masons aren't from the core government, and
Yeah.
we can pay them to not record things.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got another door and Hope has another door. We probably shouldn't continue separating. Which way do we need to go first?
I
Which
mean,
way
there's
looks more
not
interesting?
really
Probably Lulu's door.
true guards. Yeah. I'll come back.
If I'm remembering right, and John, correct me if I'm wrong, because I am admittedly awful at this. The way Hope is going, that overhang is going to continue back towards the path we walked to get here, correct?
It does. It continues over it. The door that Hope is looking at, however, does not head back into the foyer.
Okay. Yeah. I'll follow Gwen's instruction unless Hope has a preference.
No. She wants to follow where the guards are.
Oh, also, John, Gwyn's going to be checking his pocket watch on occasion just to see how close to 10 minutes everything is.
Okay. You've still got plenty of time. It's only
I continue flying because there's guard corpses on the floor.
It's been like 5 minutes since you cast the spell. So
Yeah, and
Alright.
I go rejoin Lulu.
All right.
You're about halfway out of fly time, scouts.
Are you?
All right,
Are the rest of you following to the north, or are you staying behind right now?
Well, can't they not fly and thus would have a hard time getting to where we are?
It would be easier getting to where you are than going further south to where Hope was, because there's less distance to have to travel over the guard outpost. You'd still have to be careful, but they could still get there.
All right.
It's still risky though, so let's.
Or we just keep
let's
going as long as we can.
We
'cause the
said we
spell is
weren't
running
taking
out.
risks, but
Okay.
if people are going to, then
Nah, I'm just checking to see.
Nope, we're sitting tight and waiting for news.
Okay. All right, so Hope flies up to Lulu. Lulu, the two of you are in the armory. There's a door on the northern wall.
I will have checked the door while Hope was coming just to
Okay.
save us a little bit of time.
It does not appear to be trapped.
Cool.
All right.
Open it up.
Open it up.
You open it up to the blinding light of the sun.
Ow.
Ah,
As this door opens out to the parapets of the castle on the back, on the northern end of the castle walls.
What do I see once my poor eyes adjust?
Once your poor eyes adjust.
Yeah.
So
around.
the
Look with your special
the
eyes.
the moat continues around on the northern side. So like they
Big
immediately dropping down from this section of the castle wall is river. Further north, there is a large mountain that just sort of rises up immediately to the north that you could see previously over the castle. It's just far more apparent from here. You see on the other side of the river there is a graveyard that has a mausoleum in it. That is sort of situated in a grove of trees at the base of the mountain. The mountain, you can see a few caves from this distance, though they're a little bit further up on the mountain than where you could reach from the ground. And give me a perception check.
Yeah. I'd like to make that too. Ugh.
The exact same rolls.
That's terrible. That was a 3. 12.
It's hard to tell. There might be people in the graveyard. It's hard to tell from this distance. It might just be shading and the way the light is hitting you in the eyes. Plus, you look like the sun is like directly over the mountain right now
So-
from where you're at. So,
From what I understand, parts of this castle are coated in silver,
Yeah.
and we're staring. So,
the entire
for
castle is
those
coated
that
in
go
silver.
skiing regularly, there's this thing when it's sunny out.
Snowblind, can't live without you.
I
Yes.
feel like that happens in this context.
Oh yeah. The sun is ahead of you, so you're getting light from behind you, ahead of you, and to your left and right. It's really affecting your vision.
Ow. 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 Ow.
Welcome to the open air mirror house.
I don't. I've been in one. They're terrible. I don't see anything. We have to find. Where is this stupid thing? We don't see any difference like in the amount or type of metal that we're seeing on anything, because I was trying to look for anything. So like the carpet is metal, but it's still got its color.
The outer wall is
Anything
just
like that.
solid metal. far as you
Okay.
can tell.
Is the graveyard metal?
You can't tell from this distance.
Okay. Yep, too far. All right. Ow. That, do you see anything out there?
Kind of.
Like the two of you are squinting together.
Yeah, I'm
It's
sort of
good to
crying
know
at
that
this
this
point.
is here. Maybe we could close the door and go somewhere else now.
Yeah. Ow. What we should try the other direction.
I will
maybe.
slide the doors shut.
Yep.
Come back into the dim light. The blinding day sun.
General bits of that conversation were being psychically relayed to the rest of the group.
The cursed light of the day star defeated you again.
Daylight hurts.
Ow. Ow.
You have been
ow,
in
ow.
dim light for quite a while now. It's just like,
Oh, do we need to go see what's down? There's a graveyard, you said?
I hate to ask this, but wasn't it nighttime when we got here?
no.
I thought it was day.
No, it was
Okay.
it felt
I
like
was-
kind of late morning. I thought.
I was about to say. Okay,
Yeah, no,
I just wanted to confirm because in my head it was dark. and
No,
I
it's
was like,
daylight
"Hmm,
outside. It's been daylight
I can
outside.
float a magic eyeball down there.
If you want to.
Might not be the worst idea.
I mean, technically, I could have floated a magic eyeball all through this castle, but you guys seem to be having a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're having fun, and also remember the not taking risks thing. I understand that your mage hand was fine, but I don't like the idea of your magic getting splashed with this stuff and then like the magical part of yourself starting to get assimilated.
I mean, that's fair, I suppose.
Probably
Based
keep an
on
eye
their
on how long you've got to fly.
yes, I'll have to stop you all flying in order to do this, but
Okay. So maybe we should check that other door because your magic eye can't open doors.
Yeah.
I mean, is there a gap of about an inch at the top or the bottom of the door?
Yeah.
Is this castle built well?
Yes, there are, in fact, gaps at the top and bottom of the doors.
Yeah, but
Air gaps.
still, let's check this one in person.
Sure, absolutely. You've got about 2 minutes left.
Oh, hurry.
Yep, we're gonna do a quick look at the rest of the.
So you head back to that southern door.
Buzz the tower.
Make a perception check if you're so inclined.
Yes.
Yeah.
23.
Oh,
Door does not appear to be trapped or locked.
Push it open.
You push it open and are once again blinded, this time by the reflection of the sun.
Ow!
As you open the door onto the front part of the castle, of the castle walls, where the guard would step out to patrol the exterior walls.
Fuck! Ow!
All right. Well, this is some excellent notes for how not to put a finish on the interior walls of our eventual castle.
No, this isn't the interior. This is the floor.
Oh, okay.
This is the floor of the floor of the castle walls where you would walk.
Okay, just right,
But
yeah.
it's metal now, so it's
right.
yeah.
Do not make a castle out of mirrors. Duly noted.
Also, it reacts badly with magic, so probably wouldn't have been a good paint decision in the first place. Closing that door.
You do notice before you close the door, while you're squinting through the light, you do notice that this section of the walls is much wider, broader, more like a patio sort of like section rather than a narrow walkway. And there are other doors on this level across the front of the castle. There are two other doors. One at the far end that you would imagine probably connects to the other guard walkway, the other end of the guard walkway, and then one in the middle that doesn't connect to the foyer as far as you're aware. At least you didn't see a door on the roof of the
Might be to a
of the
gatehouse.
foyer.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's sort of like you actually now that you're thinking about it, that door is probably situated above the foyer. Like the door itself is above the foyer. So.
Okay, so
29.
I'll lay that back and start flying
28.
back that way, I guess.
27.
So you guys
Hurry.
close the door, again seeing spots from the sun reflecting into your eyes,
Yeah, ow.
and fly back to the rest of the group.
Hey, Hope, what does the future say?
What?
Panamancy this shit up.
Hope can't do that. A lot better off. She could.
She would not believe it when it didn't suit her methods, though. She would get very angry at it.
Yes, that's yes.
I just worded it wrong.
No, the gods are stupid. That's the whole reason. The stupid ability why it exists. Ow, that was bright. Okay.
So
we
wondered.
I-
Yes, magic eyeballs. Sure. Let's walk out of the castle and around the back and closer to it, though.
Okay.
Yes. Do we seem to have explored the majority of this castle based on what we've seen?
I mean,
There's
there were a couple
definitely a
doors.
secret room above the foyer.
Oh, well, that's
Okay.
interesting.
That could be useful. I kind of wanted to see that closer.
Is there an easy access route that doesn't involve everybody having to wade through a bunch of dead, oil-splattered bodies?
Other
I
than
mean,
lying, not really, no.
so 'cause
Actually,
I'm confused on the geography of things.
Mhm.
When we first entered, there was the main way up, the red carpeted one that we went on, but there are also two hallways that went off.
That connect back
like you-
around to this. There's like sort of a
Okay.
square hallway around the center of the castle,
so,
and there's also that chest that's by the front door.
the other
Yes.
thing that
the mystery chest.
we could externally climb up to the roof and go that way. That would avoid most of the bodies. but we'd also be climbing on this metal end.
How angry and annoyed would all of us be if the shard was in that chest in the door, by the door?
Yeah, I really want to open the chest.
Okay, we can open the chest.
That's fair, I suppose.
I'm
And
gonna
Gwyn walks up to the chest and walks around the corner from the chest and waits.
Okay, everyone stay back just in case.
Whoever has the thing is presumably further back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So looking at it, I don't remember if I checked it for traps. I'm probably gonna do it again just in case.
Go ahead, give me another perception check.
Okay.
Are you touching it at all, or do you just want to...
No, not yet. Perception 24.
Okay. There does not seem to be any traps on it.
Okay.
Hope. I know
Yeah.
you said it wasn't locked before. Remember that conversation we had about how the people with the highest constitution modifier should be the ones to do things that might get them splashed with oil?
Yeah, I'm also really lucky apparently. Right now.
You want me to handle that?
Relatively.
You want me to handle that opening the chest though?
Is it locked?
It is not locked. No.
It's not locked. Okay. Does it have a lock?
It does have a lock. It's just not locked.
Okay. I have a mechanical question. I have a lock of trickery that I acquired some time ago. Is that magical?
Yes.
Or is that a mechanical
It
thing?
is a magical lock, yes.
Okay. The chest is metal. I'm very
You want me to open that chest so you don't have to worry about getting splashed?
I open the chest.
Harry opens the chest.
Yeah!
Patience wins the day.
Yep.
Frequently.
Harry has been sitting here listening to you guys explore and argue and bitch and whine, and she wants to do something.
That sound plays.
Oh, okay. The level.
Yeah, I got it.
I don't know if any of you heard it, but that sound
Yeah,
played.
yeah.
I have been hearing that sound over and over.
That sound plays as you open the chest. Legitimately, in universe, that sound plays as you open the chest.
Okay.
Inside, you find a boomerang.
Oh my god!
I don't know what any of this means.
We are
I
in,
opened it. I get it.
we are in a Legend of Zelda dungeon.
What did you what?
It is a wooden boomerang with sort of a gold band around the middle of it and two blue stones on either end of it, and it feels perfectly weighted.
Holy fuck! Where are the giant eyes on the wall?
What?
Nowhere.
This is a Zelda reference, just for poor people who don't.
Can Gwyn is gonna stick his head around the corner. Anything inside?
Yeah, boomerang. It's mine now.
You want to know what it does?
I mean, if you really want to take all the fun out of finding out.
Well, here's the
Sure.
thing. This is a situation where, and I'm sure you'll agree with me to an extent at least, where experimentation has kind of bitten us in the ass a little bit. And if this thing does electricity things, we probably want to know about it ahead of time.
I mean, I wasn't gonna throw it at something we're about to fight. I was gonna throw it at Hope.
Okay.
I throw it at Hope because you
okay.
just said okay.
All right, make a ranged attack with your dexterity. So
Oh
Okay.
no.
Proficiency.
yeah, you'll have this is a
Okay,
simple weapon. So
I will
yeah,
just use my
this is a simple weapon. So you do indeed have proficiency.
I will just use my short bow.
Oh God.
Yes!
Roll 20.
So you do 4d6 plus your dexterity.
Oh my goodness.
So that is 18 damage.
As this boomerang smacks you in the face harder than anything, and then rolls back, and Harry, you just instinctively catch it as it comes back to you.
It returns.
Well, of course, you bounced it off something very close to you.
Ow!
You okay?
No! I think you broke my nose.
See, I use hope because if hope dies, hope comes back.
Great.
What
Yeah.
happened with the weird stuff that is infecting the tower right now?
Ow. Fuck. Okay, so you got a magic boomerang. You think there's... Want to check and see if there's anything else in this stupid castle?
For your
Sure, I'm done.
for your mechanical edification, Jeremy,
Yes.
it is an item called Magic Boomerang.
Okay.
It is it does 1d6 it does 1d6 plus your dex damage when it hits something. If it crits, it does an extra 3d6 damage instead of just an extra 1d6.
Okay. Magic boom.
So it was a good weapon to crit with.
Dex.
Yeah.
What's the range on it?
Hang on, it's got
Boomerangs, aren't they 6120?
yes, it is 60. Short range is 60, long range is 120.
Oh, that's really good.
120. Magic bonus. Crit range.
It does not have any. It doesn't have any pluses to hit or damage. It's
Right.
just when it crits, it super crits and it returns to you.
Okay,
when thrown.
Bludgeoning or slashing?
Bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And it does not. It does not require an action to return. It just returns every time you throw it.
And
So you can use your full round of attacks with it if you so desire.
yes.
Oh my god, you're like half of those mid-30s dudes in Long Beach.
All right, I'm good. We go. You okay, Hope?
And it does not require.
No.
It doesn't require attunement. So it's just anybody that throws it. That's true for.
No job, no apartment, no car, but I got some sweet boomerang skills.
Just in case anybody.
Maybe if I hit you again, it'll set the nose.
Nope. I'm good. Don't do
You
it.
sure?
Again,
Yep.
just to make sure everybody heard, it does not require attunement. So anybody that throws it, this is true for it.
Right.
Does it have the versatile property? Or not versatile,
Yeah.
finesse. Does it have the finesse property?
Well, it's
no,
a dex.
it's a ranged weapon. It's
so
a ranged
dex.
weapon. It's dex regardless.
Yeah,
But
so
if I use it to
Yes, but-
stab someone with,
It's an improvised weapon at that point. It's not meant for beating. It's meant for throwing.
at that point, it's an improvised club.
But it's a finesse for the purposes of sneak attack.
Range.
Ranged weapons.
Ranged weapon. Yeah, it doesn't have to be finessed to sneak attack.
I was asking if it was finesse so that I could use strength to throw it.
No, you cannot use strength to throw it. It does require being dexterous.
It's all in the wrist.
Because if you
Doesn't
throw
matter,
a
you're
boomer,
not getting it.
because if you
I
throw a
opened the chat,
boomerang
I
really
got-
hard, if you throw a boomerang really hard, it just craters.
Yeah.
You have to actually finesse it. Anyways,
Harry looks at the berets. I name you Nosebreaker.
it now has a name, Nosebreaker.
Can we find?
Harry always finds the best stuff in this tower.
Can't wait.
Magic blankets, fucking boomerang.
Well, the blankets weren't magic until they got hammered by a god.
That's fair. Why do I get the feeling that Harry's gonna hold up this boomerang as soon as we?
So that was the radioactive spider bite for blankets.
Yeah.
It's getting hammered by a guy.
Getting hammered by a god. Okay.
Anyways,
So you step outside, I'm assuming.
yeah.
Yeah, you're back in the courtyard. Again, there is sort of a mausoleum off to one side, and then there's the really shiny reflective walls that you're staring at. That you're all staring at this time after having been in a fairly dim lit area for a while.
Oh, this is why you guys said fuck for a second. Like,
yeah.
All right, are we going for a secret room here, or are we going to scout the graveyard?
Let's get away from this thing. I want to look at the graveyard because maybe it's less reflective.
I mean, there's a
2 votes for the
mausoleum.
graveyard.
There's a
3 votes for the
mausoleum over there. Maybe.
All right, fine. I'll go look at the mausoleum. Arcane Eye,
Okay.
and I'll just try and thump it under the door and down into the mausoleum.
There's no door. It's gated. It's got a.
Oh, okay. Then just through the fucking gate, down into the mausoleum, and yeah, it's.
So it goes into the the mausoleum. Down. There's a set of stairs. Goes down. There's a sort of a small sort of decline that has a door to the left and a door to the right, or sort of a door to the south.
You hear a scream and you freeze and turn around. It's a very tall, lanky zombie slowly shambles towards you.
No, but there are bodies on the ground that are covered in oil. So.
Yep. All right. We're going left.
All right, you go left. Going under the door to the left, you find yourself in a room filled with statues that have been placed sort of like ceremonially, and in the middle of it, there is a large treasure chest.
Why are there bodies in the mausoleum?
Okay.
Why are there guards?
And specifically, it looks like a treasure chest, not a like sarcophagus or something.
Yeah, it's a treasure chest, not a sarcophagus.
All right. So that was to the left. Any other exits from this room?
No, this is a singular room.
180. Back the other way.
All right.
Under the door.
Under
the
the
next
door.
door. Under the other door.
So in this door, you find a slightly larger chamber that has a series of walls that you sort of have to snake through. The walls, however, have writing on them.
Oh.
Writing in a language that you do not recognize.
So not Elvish, Common, Celestial, Abyssal, Infernal, or Primordial?
Correct.
Do I recognize the script, if not the language?
No.
Okay.
It's the script is completely foreign to you. It looks like it looks. You would say it's symbological script, but the symbols aren't familiar. They're not images.
Right.
So it's
Okay.
some form of script. You've no idea what it is. You'd have
That's
to cast comprehend languages and be there to read it, basically.
Okay. All right.
But so there's this sort of like 3 walls that you could snake around. There's a statue of a sort of a.
Well, here's a question.
Yes.
Could I cast comprehend languages?
It's a concentration spell.
Nah, is it?
I believe comprehend language is a concentration
I
spell.
don't think comprehend languages is.
D&D Beyond. D&D Beyond. If you go to dndbeyond.com, you can do stuff there. They're not our sponsors. I just really like it.
Yeah, no, it's not concentration.
Is it
But
not?
if you ever want to sponsor us,
We would be happy to shill out like nobody's ever
talk.
shilled before.
We have a website with a contact form.
We do. We actually have a way for sponsors to reach out. That's
We do.
great.
yes, we do.
Other than
you could.
messaging
Yeah,
us
you
on
could.
Twitter potentially.
You absolutely could cast comprehend languages and read it through the arcane eye.
He's definitely gonna do that.
Hang on, I've got to pull up a list of things real quick.
Okay. Make an intelligence save. Damn it.
So you find this is a mausoleum wall.
Okay.
This is a list of names of people that have been interred here over what seems to be centuries. And you notice that they include their title and everything. The recurring theme is that this appears to be the mausoleum of the royal family of a kingdom called Hyrule.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of this place, so I'm just like, royalty, Hyrule. All right. And we're ignoring this room because it's boring history stuff that I don't have time for. Normally, I'd be very interested, but Keep going.
There's a catwalk above the wall, above this sort of series of walls, and on the ground there's also a statue that seems to be of like a giant eye for some reason.
Okay. Giant eyeball statue. Right. Okay.
It ignores the arcane eye. Because the arcane eye is
Right.
invisible.
Yeah. Because I'm just. It is.
This open area, so there's a walkway above that sort of follows the walls and crosses over at one point, but the open area itself just continues on underneath the bridge, goes around, wraps around. It then wraps around to, oddly enough, like sort of an open air walkway that just drops into a dark abyss.
Yeah, we're not going down there.
What's down there?
Oh, it's
Dark.
down there.
Dark. Just dark. Just dark.
Yeah, but what if it's down there?
Well, then we'll later. And
I mean,
we're driving.
the eye floats. You can send it down if you want.
Yeah, I can. I know I can, but there's also directly in front of me first.
Yeah, so you continue on. There's a pair of statues that seem to be of a king and queen on sort of a central platform that this suspended walkway connects to.
Mm-hmm.
They have titles. It's king and queen of that sort of Hyrule, and their names are attached to the bottom of them.
Okay.
Continuing on, there's a staircase that leads to a door.
Okay. Under the door.
Under the door, there is another statue of an eyeball and a treasure chest.
And does that dead end to this side of the things?
No, there is another doorway.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we found 2 treasure chests so far. Weird, puzzly looking sort of bits of things. And I'm going through the next door.
All right. Through this next door, you find yourself in what appears to be some sort of runoff room. Coming through, there's a platform off to one side, but it's raised as if this area could be like a pit of some kind. And then continuing on, you find yourself in what appears to be the bottom of a well.
And I'm like looking up.
You look up, and yeah, there's sunlight coming in.
Yeah, we'll fly up there.
You fly up, and you find yourself hovering outside of a well on the outside of that castle.
Cool. So technically, if we were getting into the second treasure chest, it might be faster to go around, jump down the well, and go in that way.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
The oil, right?
Yeah, was there like lots of oil on the walls or mostly just around where the bodies were?
It was just around the bodies were in that first room.
Okay. So Gwyn, having been playing this over the mind link to everybody, says, all right, well, you all saw that. A couple of treasure chests, if we want to investigate those. Or we can say, meh, don't see a beacon down there. Let's head on to the graveyard.
Graveyard. We need to see what's out there. If there's nothing in the graveyard, then we can go down there and retrieve what's in those chests.
Yeah. I'm fine with that.
2 votes for the graveyard. Everybody else?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, graveyard.
Graveyard, graveyard, graveyard. Graveyard it is.
Fine.
The chests aren't going anywhere.
You've got your
You
boomerang
don't know
already.
that.
I mean, if the chests are going somewhere, then we probably don't. They're probably just monsters anyway, and probably don't have anything of value. Anyway,
You're not making them less enticing, asshole.
that's fair. Sorry, I forgot my audience.
You know what's in graveyards?
Zombies.
Sometimes it's just dead people.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Dead people.
Things that we potentially can actually attack, because the stuff in the castle we cannot attack because it might be full of stuff that will kill us.
You're not wrong.
Sorry, Harry. Realize this is not your favorite field trip.
No, it's fine. I got nosebreaker.
That's fair. Okay. Let's wander around the back then.
Hope every eye roll just makes me happier about it. I just want you to know.
Okay.
And okay, so Arcane Eye doesn't say that it's like the familiar vision thing where you can't see at the same time. So Gwyn is going to be driving the eye down the hill towards the graveyard as we're walking around, sort of like swapping between them, more or less.
So, as you head south back to the bridge, there is a pathway around the castle. You can go left or right around the walls. It's just fairly narrow. You know that from where the Arcane Eye was, you know that if you turn left, which would be heading east, that would take you back around to where the well is. So you could go right and go around, or you could go left and go around next to the well and see what's there.
Left.
Okay. So you all hook a left. As you go, you see that there's sort of a fence that's been built on this side of the river that wasn't on the other side. And as it continues on, it eventually ends at what appears to be a land bridge that heads off further east, but it's blocked by a massive boulder.
Is that the direction of the graveyard?
No, the graveyard's still
Okay.
north.
Oh,
This
right.
is something that
Well,
draws your attention as you continue heading north.
very large boulder. This place is built weird.
You head north, finding that well that you sort of came up out of, and there's a tree immediately to the north of the well, which then sort of butts up against the edge of the river where the castle wall ends, and across the river you can see the graveyard. Meanwhile, the Arcane Eye was flying off ahead. What's the range on the Arcane Eye?
There is no limit to the range.
All right, how long does it last?
1 hour.
Okay, so yeah, you're good.
It's literally the Insta Scout.
So yeah, the Arcane Eye flies over into the graveyard. You find that there are bodies sort of casually, like every little bit, sort of splayed out on the ground in the graveyard. No oil splattered around, but they seem sort of very similar to the first bodies that you found.
Okay. He's going to just crisscross the graveyard, see if there are any structures, any open graves, anything like that.
There is one open grave in the sort of the northwestern corner of the graveyard that seems to go down into a much deeper cave than a grave should.
Someone got a little enthusiastic. We'll have to have a word with the local undertakers.
Right, it heads down.
Yep.
So this cave opens up into... So this sort of like drop from the graveyard opens up into a larger cave that has a large rounded stone with a decorative eye in the middle of it.
Kind of blocking the entrance.
Yeah. There's another... Like, there's more to the cave behind it, but...
Right. But there's a barrier.
Yeah.
All right. Well, once we get to the graveyard, there will probably be some bodies around, and then there's an open grave that we will have to jump into, and then there's a very large barrier behind it. I'm looking at it through the eye. Does it seem to be the weird metal stuff, or is it just stone?
It's just stone. It's not made of metal.
Which I should be able to do something about.
How deep is
Hopefully.
this hole?
I'll zip the eye back and try and give an estimate
It's about a
viewing at it.
15-foot drop.
Yeah, about twice as tall as me. A little more.
Sounds like fun.
Eyeballs, it's weird. Sure, let's go.
All right.
So you are all currently standing on the southern bank of a river, staring across at a graveyard.
All right.
Start pulling out my rope.
And this river here, is the riverbank taller than the surface of the water, or does it kind of slope down?
The riverbank is taller, so
So there's an actual like
there's
kind
like
of
a
drop off to the
there's
water.
there's a bit of a drop to the water.
And there was a land bridge, but that's further back.
Yeah, the
And
land bridge
it's
is
going a
further
different
back and
direction.
going in a different direction.
Got it. Cool. All right. Just wade across then.
All right. Make a perception check. Make a survival check, actually.
Sure.
Yeah.
Survival's good.
I would also like to make a survival check.
Go ahead, make a survival check.
Yeah.
And how wide is the
Wow,
river?
that was really good. 14.
River's about 50 feet across, 50 feet, like
Natural
from coast to coast, bank to bank.
Bank to
Coast to
bank.
coast.
Yeah.
The river is deeper than you can stand, so it would be swimming across, not wading.
Okay.
It's also running. It's a running river, so you'd be pushed.
How
You'd be
fast?
pretty fast. It seems to. It's probably coming down from that mountain that you can see immediately to the north.
Is there a point where it gets wider and therefore the current slows down?
Yes, but that's further back. You actually saw you passed as you were coming north. You actually passed an intersection where the river splits, where it looks like it was manually routed around the castle.
How wide did you say this river was?
About 50
About 50
feet.
feet.
About 50 feet from.
That's pretty
And
big.
from
The goal is to cross.
It's being served as a moat currently. But in addition, you and Lulu and Corbin note that there are figures in the water, shadows that are sort of moving around within the water.
Humanoid?
They're hard to tell. They're very it's.
There's
Gwynfron, you also see that there's something
To
moving
be
on the water.
clear, just to make sure I understand that it is a wide river with a strong current, but probably one that somebody with a 25 strength can swim, and I do not see the shadows in the water.
Correct.
Boing!
no.
Make me an
God.
athletics check.
Oh, Harry.
I can just carry all of you. I have
23.
grappling hooks in my gauntlets.
Harry dives. Starts swimming. Gashkar, you see these figures in the water, and the rest of you do too. Stop and turn.
Harry!
Harry's.
I know you said dives, but I
Can't
heard
hear you,
dives.
busy swimming.
There's stuff in there. It just turned and looked at you.
Listen, have you ever swum and your head's turning and
Give me-
you're not hearing shit?
Give me a
Yeah.
dexterity saving throw, Harry.
I could roll perception if you wanted to.
Give me.
In the telepathic bond that we all currently
Yeah.
share,
Oh yeah.
you definitely hear there are dangerous things in the water, just
Fair
flat
enough.
as can be.
Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Waiting to see if Harry will dive in to fight them.
21.
You feel something grab your ankle under the water and try to pull you down, but you slip your foot out of their grip.
Good to know. Still swimming.
So, because
I mean,
of all
once
the-
you jump in,
Yeah, you're in it.
I'm
Want-
gonna fire some crossbow bolts at the things. Or
Yeah, I'm gonna start shooting
Alright,
too.
don't give me attack rolls with disadvantage for cover, but
that's fine.
How far away from me is Harry?
Harry, what's your movement speed?
35.
Do you have a swim
About
speed?
about I'm gonna say about halfway across the river at this point.
Okay, yeah, no. By this
Because
point, there's no
Corbin
point.
turned the
Yeah,
water electric.
basically
No,
basically
Charges I have to activate.
yeah. Basically, I'm assuming that half speed to swim if you don't have a swim speed. So I'm assuming that Harry is dashing to get across.
Right.
So,
it-
we'll roughly made it about
it's a
halfway
wash,
across.
yeah, mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
20 and 19. Your crossbow bolt and arrows hit something in the water. You definitively see, and the arrow gets stuck in something and sucked down. Yours don't, because they're made of fire, and it just sort of boils away water rapidly.
I'm.
Oh wait, no, you're using the heavy crossbow, not dragon's tongue. Never mind.
Well, Dragon's Tongue fires.
As a heavy crossbow, did you not? I'm sorry.
I have a heavy crossbow. I guess, like, if Dragon's Tongue doesn't actually fire bolts, I would have the sense to use that.
Well, no, it worked. I was assuming that it was you hit, and it sort of like the heat of the flaming crossbow bolts just evaporate the water. It still goes through.
Yeah.
The dragon's tongue is not beaten by water.
Okay. I was gonna say that seems a little
That's a
Nerf
nerf.
for legendary level weapon.
No. It
yeah,
boils away the water. The
That's
fire
Dragon's
still goes
Tongue.
through.
I just that one doesn't have a fancy name because heavy crossbow is a lot of information.
That's fine. That's fine. I got confused because I saw heavy crossbow and not dragon stone.
Yeah, I'll try and fix that.
Yeah, so you both hit something. You actually then see popping out of the water these strange figures that have these like sort of large funnels for like beaks. That just sort of pop up out of the water and spit rocks at you.
Is this like a weaponized Vuvuzela?
Different one.
What?
As long as they don't make the noise.
They kind of look like turnips.
It look
They
like
kind of look like giant turnips.
they kind of look like giant turnips with like a barrel for a beak.
Really quick look around. Do I see broken pottery just everywhere?
We haven't been kicking at the grass enough, I don't think, for that.
Does a 14 hit Corbin?
No.
So it's like rock just sort of pings off your shoulder.
Even if I wasn't wearing armor, that would not.
A 15 also doesn't hit as it just pings off the. So these two rocks just ping off your armor as it pops up, spits at you, and then pops back down.
Octoroks were never the most dangerous of creatures.
By this point, Harry,
magma
you've gotten to the other side.
Wait,
And they definitively are not made out of metal?
No, they are not made out of metal.
Okay.
They live in the water, where the oil is having trouble.
Um,
Do you want me to just get the rest of you across without having to swim?
Yeah, probably.
sure.
that's no
I'll
fun.
take another crossbow shot at one of them
Yeah, same.
just to cover.
No, I don't like swimming.
Keep their attention on us. Cover Gashkar as she heads across.
I grab
Wait,
Gwyn
that's
around.
wrong. Sorry.
I grab Gwyn around the waist and grapple to the other side.
Yeah.
I go back and
Yeah,
retrieve
this
the
is
next
why-
person.
this
and
is
do
why.
this.
The one that's the whip is the correct numbers,
Okay.
but so 24.
That hits. As does the shock bow.
Murdering a whole bunch of
There, now
innocent
I-
octopi.
Yep. Hit 2 more hits. They are now floating bodies in the river, being slowly drifting, or not slowly, swiftly drifting downriver.
Okay.
So I go back and forth, just pulling people across. with the
Eventually,
grappling.
eventually you get everybody across.
Oh man, if I could still wear my boots, I would have been able to just clear that. Oh well.
You are now on the northern bank of this river, immediately south of the graveyard.
Okay.
All right.
So keep going. Find the tomb.
Watch out for the bodies once we get to the graveyard, etc., etc.
You're literally on the other side of the fence of the graveyard.
Oh, okay.
Like it's right next to the river. So yeah, you walk into the graveyard. There are a series of graves here, bodies lying in various places that are easily avoided.
They have names on the graves.
Yes, but it is all in a script you do not understand.
Gwyn's just going to
There
kind of
is
casually
Any
read off.
language that's written. Good to know.
Oh wait, you can read any language that's written?
No, it's
Can't
in.
read any language.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm illiterate.
that's right.
I probably cannot tell that it's not a language I know.
That's
You,
fucking amazing.
the collective you, cannot read them except Grenferon, who has comprehend.
Who will
language.
casually call out a few names or whatever as he goes by.
Sharp and flat.
There's one. Fuck. What's his name? Hang on. Yeah. There's one. There's one grave marked Tinkle, and it just said died from a great height.
I can't believe someone cared enough about him to make him a grave. That seems out of character.
Oh, there's always someone that cares to make graves. It's just not anyone we ever see.
For him,
A lot of them are named Navi for some reason. Holes to the back here.
So yeah,
All right.
you guys make your way to the sort of the northwesterly corner of the graveyard, and yeah, there's a large tombstone that's been pushed back from the ground, and there's just a hole underneath it.
So there's a down there.
Okay.
And there's a big rock blocking the way. We can either try and shove it out of the way, or I can,
We can always try shoving it out of the way first, and then if that doesn't work,
shoving it out of the way doesn't require magic. So Hope will prefer it.
is there anything up here that I could attach this rope to make it easier to climb up and down?
I don't know, like all of these gravestones?
I want to, I don't know who they are, but I still don't want to use a gravestone. It's a little disrespectful.
The fence that surrounds this place is actually like a stone laid fence wall.
All right.
So you can attach to that.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah.
Also, plus, some of us are heavier than a gravestone, so pulling on it. So
Could
I'll
be
just set
comically hilarious, yes.
Could be potentially deadly.
It's 15.
Meanwhile, I'm the one of us that has the hook shot, so.
I'm paranoid right now. I don't know.
Right. Rope set. Throw it down the hole.
Yeah,
Alright.
coming in.
You climb
Very
down. It's a very narrow shaft that you're climbing down, at the bottom of which there is a large boulder blocking any further progression. So are you just standing on each other's shoulders, or how are you...
Oh, it's that narrow? There's
Yes.
Okay. Never mind. Go back up. Yeah, just push from down there and see if you can clear it.
All right, let me get down there. I will hook shot down to the boulder. Let me see if I can figure out how to move this.
There is a large... So yeah, it is a large ovoid boulder with a red painted eye that has sort of a teardrop connecting to the bottom of it, 3 triangles over the top.
I feel like someone needs true sight to get past this rock.
Actually, I could get past the rock without.
No. Does it look like I can't? Does it look like it's possible to get a grip to try and shift it?
Possible. It's smooth. It's very smooth on the edges, so there's no real grip positions. You'd have to like bear hug it to try.
I can do that.
Yeah. Go ahead and give it a bear hug. Give me an athletics check.
I will rage to assist this with my unlimited rage.
Unlimited rage.
You
35.
rip it out of the ground. There's not really any place to move with it, though.
Yeah, it's like repositioning this is going to be difficult.
So you are standing in a narrow hole, holding the boulder that is still blocking your progression forward.
As I lift it up above my head, can I see what's below me?
So you sort of squeeze back and lift higher. Now for everyone above, looking down, there's just a boulder in the way with an eye that's staring at you. A painted eye, not a real eye, but... And Gashkar, you see that there is actually a cave that leads further in.
Well, that's...
Well, there's a cave down here, but I'm not exactly going to be able to maneuver this boulder easily.
Can you shove it further into the hole?
The boulder is larger than the hole.
Oh.
It won't fit.
I want you all to be
I can-
impressed with the number of jokes I'm not making right now.
Yeah.
I can
Phrase.
Just shatter it.
I can just get
It's a boulder. It's not that.
Weaveborn, would you be able to give us a little hand with this? I know you've got Disintegrate back up in there somewhere.
I mean, yes, but if you miss, you might disintegrate Gashkar.
Well, we're going to have Gashkar get out of the way first.
Or I could just try and break this thing if
All right, you show off first, I'll show off second if necessary.
All right.
And by show off, I mean hold Weaveborn, who's actually going to be doing the showing off.
Do you put the boulder back down?
Yeah, I'll put the
Okay.
boulder back down.
All right, you put the boulder back down.
And then, unfortunately, I'm not actually wearing the Titanstone knuckles, so I'm not automatically a siege weapon.
Each weapon only doubles your already significant damage.
Yeah. But we will see. We will see if the lightning spear of a god can crack through this rock. So we'll see if I can jam through it with Storm Herald.
Make an attack roll.
Storm Herald.
As long as you don't use scissors, you'll be fine.
22. Is the AC of this boulder higher than 22?
You hit it. Go ahead and roll damage.
20 piercing damage.
So you hit it, and the stone bounces like it's made of rubber as you hit it, and a voice echoes out that you all can hear, but none of you can understand, except for Gwynfron, who still has comprehend languages up. That says only he with the true with only he with sight true may pass. None of you understand that because it's in a different language. Gwynfron, though, you hear it and you understand it. And oh yeah, like the stone bounces like it's made of rubber.
All right, love, come on, let me, yeah.
I grapple up.
What did it say?
Oh, that it was my turn.
Oh.
It sounded like it was talking in Jingle Bells.
And he'll angle Weaveborn down at it. Ready when you are, champ.
If that deflects back at you, I'm going to laugh.
That's why I'm at an angle here, because I saw what it did to your spear. So if it, you know.
Yeah, the deflect ray shoots down, hits the stone, and then immediately ricochets back into the wall.
Maybe we should just
tunnel.
Or I can just
Around.
walk behind the door.
I mean, what did it actually say?
It said something about true sight, which I didn't want to have to do, but fine. I cast true seeing on myself.
Okay. You climb down.
And I climbed down.
All right. The stone isn't there.
Uh-huh. All right. Climb down. Floop.
You walk through it.
Does the stone disappear, or does he just walk through the rock to us?
The rest of you, he just walks through the rock.
Oh. It's
All
a
right.
believing thing. Okay. Lulu will climb down and entirely confident just walk directly into the rock.
Wham!
Wham!
Gwyn is
This
looking
will lead
around.
more in the future.
Gwyn's looking around this whatever room he's in for something that. Are there any levers? Is there does the rock look different from this side? And he's kind of spinning Weaveborn around, kind of pissed off at this rock.
You can't see it anymore because you've got true seeing on, so it doesn't look
Right.
like anything from this side. You just
But
saw
I know
Lulu
it's there.
walk into nothing.
Right.
Doesn't look like anything to me.
You on the inside of this room, there is a large blue, like sort of shielded, like cube, inside which there is the most emaciated-looking humanoid you have ever seen in your life, with a mask covering their face that has the same symbol that the rock had on it, like sort of covering their face. Sitting in a meditative pose.
You have passed the trial you have passed the hero's trial. You gained some courage.
Hello?
As you say hello, a voice in your head just sort of echoes through in this strange language that you know from comprehend language, but not from any other reason. You are not of this world. What are you?
I am the 2-in-1. I am he that sees beyond sight. I am. My name's Gwyn.
Thank you for cutting the cryptic bullshit.
I was
You're
gonna say,
welcome.
I am pretentious as fuck.
Are you related to this infestation of monsters that has plagued this land so recently?
No, they come from another dimension than me. And I'm kind of here to clean up their shit and get this place back to how it should be.
And why did you come in the first place? That seems incidental.
Well, we're mostly here because we're trying to put the beacon back together so that the element of chaos can get the world back in full composition.
None of these words mean anything to me.
There's a magic piece of an artifact somewhere around here that we need in order for our dimension to get reconstructed the way it's supposed to.
Legends tell of an artifact of light that might be found in the forest to the northwest. Perhaps that is where you will find the object you seek.
We have to go find the Master Sword now.
Cool. Is there anything you know of in the area that might be able to help us with? Are you aware of the whole black oil corrupty thing that's going on upstairs?
Yes. It is another thing that is not supposed to be here.
Yeah. Do you have any advice with it other than don't touch it?
Don't touch it.
That's some very good advice. I would love to know where you heard that from.
Did we hear any of this conversation?
Oh yeah, this is all telepathically broadcast.
Okay. Ask
You
him
hear
if he knows where-
Gwen Ferron's side of it. You don't hear
Yeah,
the
okay.
other ones. Yeah.
What are you talking to?
I assume you're local to these parts.
Yes.
Well, we'll get it all cleaned up for you as quick as we can. I've got some friends upstairs. He's looking around the room to see if there's anything else down here.
Nope.
Does he know where? But did they know the person you're talking? Do they know where it came from? The oil.
Well, sorry to interrupt your meditations or whatever it is you get up to in your cave. Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Hang on. I have to look up the thing that they say.
They have so many names.
Yeah.
Harry leans over to Hope. Are you going to yell at him for not answering you, for pointedly not asking your question? Yeah. I kind of hope you do.
Maybe I'm contemplating trying to get down there.
I am Maz Koshia, a monk of the goddess Hylia.
Nice to meet you. Not a goddess I'm familiar with, but I'm sure she's lovely.
That's actually, that question that Hope had is actually a good question to ask.
Wait, I'm gonna try and get down there by casting. Yeah, I don't know.
I am rubbing off on this group and I love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try casting Dimension Door
Okay.
to get to the other side of this rock.
All right. You cast Dimension Door. You feel like you hit a wall made of rubber and snap back to the place you cast the spell from.
I sit down. Ow.
Your face hurts more.
How you doing?
Ow. Fuck.
Do you know where the Evo came from?
Is that the oil?
Yeah, extra multidimensional viral oil. Evo.
That's a terrible acronym.
That is a fucking horrible name.
I like how nobody has asked why he was calling it Evo until now.
Yeah, I was ignoring it.
You realize during that whole long discussion, Harry zoned out like 17 times.
Yeah.
Lulu assumed it made perfect sense to anyone that could spell.
I mean, it did make sense.
There is a rift in this world connecting it to another. The location of which is inside Hyrule Castle.
Is that the one back up there on the hill across the river?
Yes.
Okay.
Where in the cat? Wait, I can only hear his half of it. Do we know where we need to go?
That's some very helpful information, Sir Monk. Our respects to the local deities, and
Not really.
I'll be on my way.
There's no physical reaction to the monk, but the voice is no longer in your head.
I really want to know what that mask does. Okay.
Are you gonna yell at him?
And we're coming back up the... I don't even remember.
Wait.
What was the question? What?
What kind of monk is he? By any chance, I'm just curious. A minotaur?
No, he's a skid.
Okay.
What did you want to ask?
I told you what I wanted to ask.
I forgot because I was busy doing important things.
You actually asked the question. You did ask
Wow.
the question that she wanted you to ask.
Okay.
Everyone
What
figure it
information did you get from him?
The oil is coming through a rift that's back up in the castle somewhere. The
Where?
beacon is in the castle. That was as specific as he got.
Did you ask him where in the castle?
Definitely didn't ask him where because we heard your half of the conversation.
I walk up to Gwen and I
Gwen's
kick
not
him in-
even up yet.
Oh, you're not up there
Yeah,
yet?
he's still on the other side of the stone that Lulu walked into.
Come here.
Having an argument down there to himself.
Gwen is going to attempt to climb out of the
So,
hole,
well-
which is going to go great, I'm sure.
Well, first of all, Lulu's right there. So,
And so is Gashkar, because Gashkar hasn't really...
so you step into a very cramped space filled with Lulu and Gashkar.
Hello, everybody.
So Gashkar can grapple her boyfriend out.
You eventually, all of you get out.
I'll wrap my arm around Gwen Ferron's waist and grapple out.
You eventually all get out of the hole.
Harry walks up
I
to
found a
Gwen,
monk in a cave.
kicks him in the shins.
Roll your attack.
Okay.
Do you have a natural one portent today, Gwen?
No, I had a 3 and I used that already.
That would have been great to give, like, just,
Yeah.
you roll a natural one and fall in the hole.
Come on. 26.
Yep, that'll hit.
You
You
kick.
take 8 points of damage to your shin.
Okay, I heal that right back in the next round. Good to
Oh
know.
my goodness.
You kick the blue
What?
elf
I'm
in the
backing
shin.
you up.
No, I'm talking about Gwen. Thank you, Harry. I appreciate it.
welcome.
It's good to see that you don't just kick me in the shins.
No,
Are
no.
you going to hit
Hey,
someone else
the
in the
one
face?
time I ever kicked people in the shins, I kicked you both in the shins. Thank you.
Okay, I don't.
Yeah,
remember.
no, this is I am currently leading the pack in terms of shin kicks from Harry.
You were just too focused on yourself, there's a shocker, to notice that somebody else got kicked in the shin.
See, now I feel like Harry's on my side.
You're both fucking idiots.
Yes, we are. What else is new?
So we need to go back to the castle, but we already checked the castle.
All right. So here's what I've learned. There are rumors of an artifact of light in the woods to the, he said, northwest, right?
Yes.
In the woods to the northwest might be our best lead on the beacon. However, the Evo is apparently coming from a rift that is in the castle. So I assume whichever room we didn't look into,
There was the one on the far south. There was that door up.
There
the
was-
secret one over the foyer,
Yeah.
right, is probably where the rift is. Other than that, we can always scout out through the mausoleum just to see if I missed anything while it was down there.
If it's in one of the treasure chests.
Yep.
Or we can just...
Chests.
All right. And so, do we want a beacon first, or are we going for what's closest?
No, we need to clean it first.
Yeah.
Huzzah!
I mean, from what we saw, we couldn't tell if anything made it into the forest yet, but better be safe than sorry.
All right. Well, everybody gather round then.
Safe but sorry is my always
Nobody
choice.
goes by that rule. It's just something I can
Yeah.
say, so I can say that I've said it at least once.
Fair.
Also, worth noting, Galadir's not with you anymore.
Right.
Where'd Galadir go?
Fucked off home.
None of you were paying attention, so you're not certain when Galadir stopped following behind you. But
I mean, it was.
I remember specifically that he didn't come into the castle with us. So
It was a gala
unless
clone,
we've
right?
seen him since then.
yeah, you have not seen him since you went into the castle.
Gwyn boops everybody on the nose. We can all fly back to the castle. Let's
It was-
go. Chop,
It
chop.
was a gala clone, though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a clone of Galadir, or a simulacrum.
Then Galadir's gonna do something stupid and suicidal with the clone. The clone's gonna die, and
Galadir will learn something from it. Come on, let's fly back to the
we'll
castle.
probably end up fighting Necro Clone.
That
Galadir,
actually would be interesting.
Galadir probably just woke up in the morning and gated his clone back, all things considered.
I mean, also equally plausible. But everybody can fly for 10 minutes. Let's get back to the castle.
We're flying.
Fly to the door that was on the parapet that led down to this layer area.
You fly so from the above view, you now see that actually on the sort of the platform that's on the roof of the castle, that symbol that you saw on the boulder is also there on the ground.
Oh.
Fucking weird.
It's just you can't see it when you're standing on it or when you're
Right.
on the same level as it.
Legit.
And also standing sort of in the middle of that eye is Galadir, who's just sort of looking down at the ground.
Gala clone.
Yeah. Land.
You sort of land next to Galadir, who looks up. Oh, there you are.
This is another true sight that
We were going roundabout kind of thing. Yes.
That's not about true sight?
another true sight thing. It's the same eyeball.
Oh,
There was a boulder, and Gwen went through it by seeing it with true sight and not seeing a boulder. But
Oh.
I couldn't do it by disbelieving. So
that's interesting. He casts true sight on himself. Oh. And he walks down through the floor.
I should still have true sight up.
Is true sight concentration or not?
No. Mm-mm.
Is it not?
True seeing is
It's
true
not-
seeing
yeah,
just
true
lasts
sight-
an hour.
All right, yeah.
it just
So
lasts.
where everyone else just sees an eye, you see a set of stairs going down.
I feel like my question was still valid.
Yeah.
So I'm not rolling
you
that
think-
back.
Yeah, no,
Do
that's
you-
Everybody hold my hand.
Do you think you could project what you're seeing to us so that we might be able to see what we're doing here?
Come on, I'll help you.
All right, close your eyes. Everybody make a chain, close your eyes. I'm going just look through the telepathic link and see what I see.
I mean, usually when I hear someone say to make a chain, that's not what I'm thinking, but sure.
I know. And Gwyn's going to just grab whoever's next on the link of the chain and start walking down the stairs and see if that works.
As you start walking down the stairs, when the hand that isn't a person that has true seeing cast on them reaches the floor, they lose grip of you and just punch into the floor.
Ow!
Aw, hope will hold my
Did that
hand.
on purpose.
Ow!
Damn it.
I'm just keeping a fair amount of focus on Gwen's vision.
Yeah, you all can still see what Gwen is seeing. You just felt the floor.
Okay, we need to find some sort of object that will grant us true seeing. It's probably hidden somewhere.
Hey, there's 2 unlooked at treasure chests down in the mausoleum.
Or we just break a window.
We also haven't actually checked that secret room that was above the foyer.
Hang on a minute. Gwyn,
Skashkar will
Gwyn
fly up to that
steps
room.
back out and casts Dispel Magic on the thing.
Roll me a d20 with your intelligence modifier.
Okay. Can I make it a portent?
Yeah.
That's a 24.
All right. So your dispel magic for a moment wouldn't have dispelled mage armor, but you do manage to. You manage to like, wait, no, that's not right. Click, and everyone else, you see the eyeball disappear, and there's a set of stairs there now.
Inside. Let's go.
Okay. All right. I still want to check that foyer room before we leave.
I thought that's what we're going towards right now.
There's a there is that door that's above the foyer, and then immediately before it there was the eye on the ground, which has now been dispelled into a set of stairs going down.
Got it. Okay. Cool. Sorry.
Actually, I can probably check that foyer room while you're heading down the stairs and just catch up to you.
I mean, if you want to make Aaron sigh heavily, sure.
Down the stairs
Do you go-
before Harry decides that cannonballing off the building is the next thing we need to
That
do.
is a valid concern.
Do you open that door, Gashkar?
Yes.
You open the door. Inside, there is it's still all metal. There's a treasure chest in the middle of the room that has a large sort of like triad of triangles on the floor underneath it, and a painting on the far wall of a blonde woman.
The chest doesn't seem locked.
No.
I will open the chest.
Get your soundbite back.
Hang on, wait, nope. It changed. There we go. That's the one I want. This happens in universe every time someone opens a treasure chest.
A major one, anyway.
Inside, you see a purple magnifying lens that has a triad of triangles sort of like across the top of it that are tipped in red.
Huh. This is probably useful.
Down those.
I head down the stairs.
All right. In the Legend of Zelda tradition of having the tool for the puzzle in a box next to the puzzle.
Gem of True Seeing! Fuck yeah!
It's a lens of true seeing. Thank you very much. Anyways, so yeah, you all head downstairs. Gashkar follows up behind you, holding what looks like a giant magnifying lens.
I feel like we need to get you a top hat and start calling you
Detective.
something.
I will break you before that.
I know.
So you follow down. This is a
Enough about
This way.
the
guys' bedroom habits.
the stairs. The stairs lead into a squat, sort of short tunnel, which connects to what appears to be a treasury of some kind. Inside, there are many chests. Each of which are sort of closed and marked with that same symbol that the outside of the illusion was marked with.
Uh-huh.
And then on the far wall there is a painting that seems to have been dimensionally ripped in half, through which there is oil just sort of slowly seeping down to the floor.
What had the Eye of Truth on them?
Treasure
The
chests.
chests.
I would like to look at them through this lens.
When you look at them through the lens, the treasure chests become semi-transparent, and inside them you see teeth and tongues and various things, though they are metal as well.
Those are mimics.
Good to know.
Oh.
Didn't we
All
have
right.
a specific solution once we found this place for sealing the thing?
I don't think we had figured out how to do it.
Galadir,
He's sort
who
of
do you think we're up against here?
he's sort of just standing there looking at the painting.
I'm looking at it and I do still have True Seeing on. Does it look more or less what it looks like in reality?
Yeah, it is exactly. It's just a hole in reality through which, like sort of a vertical, like sort of a diagonal tear, as if somebody slashed the painting, but in slashing the painting, slashed through reality to some sort of inky pool.
What's the painting of?
It's impossible to tell anymore.
Okay.
Slash.
I think we need some glue.
Gallaudet is just looking at it.
Mending cantrip.
Mending.
I mean, we could also just try putting a different painting on top of it.
Gallaudet looking at it. I think I've discovered how the rip occurred. I'm not certain how to fix it though.
How did it happen?
This was previously a connection point between this plane and another plane of. Remember the collection of spheres explanation from earlier?
Right.
Yep.
Some of those spheres are connected. They're tied together. This was one of those connection points, which means of the giant sphere of smaller spheres, this was a weak link.
Right. Yes, we had a nexus that got fucked with.
Through which it was then able to basically reconnect to a different sphere in a different collection of spheres.
What were you going to try and do when we went down into the mausoleum outside of Core? There was a thing that was jumping through planes, right?
Yes, there was.
Here?
What?
Would that type of thing work here? Whatever.
Probably not. The jumping through planes was a magical effect, and I was going to try and get close to it and cut it off from all magic. But this thing is more of a persistent sort of thing, and I don't believe. And he cast detect magic through Weaveborn.
You see again the sort of that effect that you have seen with the oil before, where it's not recognizable magic, and it is infecting the things around it.
Whatever this is, I don't think that cutting it off from the blend of magic that pervades this reality is going to actually affect any considerable change.
It might, though. Gallaudet says. I'm not certain what anti-magic would do to this.
But anti-magic field's not permanent, right?
No, but it very much cuts things off from exterior manipulation. So it's possible if you sustained it around this enough, reality might heal itself. Right, it might scab over, in a sense.
You sure are saying words.
I understood the scab over part.
It might scab over if I do a
Okay.
spell.
Do you want to
I
try
can
it?
see if that would work.
Yes, I would like to. Somebody hold Weaveborn for me.
I will hold the staff and back away.
Because be courteous to your intelligent weapons.
Good to see you, Weaveborn.
And he'll walk up to the thing and cast anti-magic field.
So you don't notice anything because you don't have any. Your magic goes away as this bubble of magic sort of bubbles out. However, the ink, the sort of oily inkness, just splatters away from the anti-magic field before coalescing onto it. Forming
like
sort of a
like doming on it.
It's starting to sort of like slowly crawl over the dome of the anti-magic field.
How are you gonna get out of that?
You should drop that, Gallaudet says. Boop. It splatters back down to the ground and move.
Dive backwards.
From my perspective, it looked like theoretically that might work. The only problem is the oil is going to be very angry at you and will drop on you as soon as the field goes away.
Is there any way for the spell to be... I can do healing spells that I touch someone, they're healed. But there's stuff that, like, Lulu takes a really long time.
Can you change it?
Ambient? Other places?
Persistent?
Or just change its shape so you can funnel things in. That was a circle. That was a sphere.
Yes,
Yeah,
it only spheres.
Without people inside of it.
I have access to that spell, and I'm only a simulacrum. I'd be willing to do it, but you would have to face the consequences of whatever happens when it goes away.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That sounds exciting.
Well, if it cuts off the... Yes, let's give it a shot.
No, wait.
Hang on.
Yep.
Give me a
Too
sec.
late.
No, before you... Are you...
I mean, he's not doing anything right
You
now.
make
He's just
those
standing there.
decisions when you tell us to give you a sec. We're doing this.
I mean,
Wait.
I'm going to see if this is a good idea, hopefully.
Gallagher hasn't done anything yet, so...
Because I can do augury. I haven't done that yet today.
Mm-hmm. You do agree? What question do you ask?
I cast. Yep. On if we let Galadier's clone go and do that anti-magic field, try and get it back into that rift. How that will go. So here's the spell.
Will you stop being a simulacrum if
you get both wheel and woe.
if you're in the anti-magic field? Will you?
No, I'm generating the anti-magic field. It's not.
Okay. Also, are you afraid that once that's done, when it falls on you, you'll turn on us? Or
most definitely, that's the hypothesis that I'm working on. Yes.
Okay. How about you expend the spell slots that you don't need for that? Expend what power you don't need for that before. That way, you weaken yourself, but you're still strong enough to cast the spell.
Mm-hmm.
Tactically, that makes sense, and I will do that. He says as he just starts bleeding off magic. And like it's to the point it's visible. You are watching like normally you can't just see radiant magic. So much of it is bleeding off of him right now that there is a visible blue, almost fiery aura emanating off of his body as he continues talking in the same tone that he was previously. The only the real concern that I have about this, and he reaches up and grabs his temple and pulls out another one of those strings of light. Sort of hands it back to Gwynfron. Give that to me. The only real concern that I have about is that this oil utilizes a magic that is not our own. So I'm not certain if expending all of my magic will dampen any of my effectiveness once transformed at all.
So could we also beat you within an inch of your life first?
No.
It is always worth a try, but I appreciate that was not an option.
The last one let us do that. I understand.
Also, if you do that, I might not be able to maintain the spell long enough to successfully close the rift.
Yeah. But you're getting rid of just anything you don't need for that.
If you're
correct.
Faster, will that help?
You can only be so fast when completely encircled in a substance.
Okay.
I mean, you say that.
And also, it's likely that...
Based solely on what I observed when Gwynfron attempted it, it will take long enough that the oil will completely surround me. Yeah. Now, you could probably just leave and go grab the beacon and leave whatever my reanimated corpse's whims are to its whims. I don't know what that effect will have, but I'll let you make that decision.
Gwyn met a monk here. He could deal with it.
No.
He was more the sit in a hole and ignore everything but be aware of stuff kind of monk, less of a actually
literally hiding behind a rock in a cave underground.
I mean, I don't want to disparage anybody's life choices, but yes.
I'm going to.
Well, that's your forte. I have other talents.
We can't fight at range, but whatever.
Not everyone is equipped for dealing with certain dangers in certain ways.
Right. Sometimes person's best purpose is to inform the other people who are equipped. Anyway, whenever you're ready, and we'll be waiting.
What you decide to do once this begins is up to you, obviously. Have fun. And he moves over towards the rift and casts anti-magic field. And again, you see the oil splatter away, and he just stands there sort of staring at the rift in time and space as he does so, just sort of studying as this sphere of oil builds up around him. And you are eventually vision is cut off, and there is just this giant dome of oil in front of you.
Does it seem at all like the...
Gwen, how long does anti-magic field last?
About an hour.
Should we just leave?
I mean, from a practical standpoint, given what we have to accomplish, it would probably be tactically wise. But given that there are actual living people in this dimension,
it would be leaving them.
It would be leaving innocents to suffer for our decisions.
This isn't a dimension. This is a pseudo dimension within the tower that's connected to another dimension.
Yes, but there's no reason to assume that it's not permanent, persistent.
Storm Herald, you don't want to be in this fight, do you?
Nope.
Storm Herald,
okay.
Gaskar will put Storm Herald in the quiver and switch to her Wyvern Stingers.
Raise your hands if you can be at least 70. This much of a pie. She mimics roughly 70. Effective without being in melee.
Well, I've got 9 of these magical javelins and about 4 regular ones, so for a bit I can.
I got as effective as normal, of course not, because I don't. But I can fire bows until my arrows until something's dead.
You got a really neat boomerang that might work once.
Once. Do you really think I'm sacrificing Nosebreaker?
The emotional attachment that you've made to Nosebreaker in such a short of time is very heartwarming.
My best friend.
How many?
Well, while you begin your strategic planning, your tactical planning for approaching the problem of Galadir, that's where we're going to end for this week.
Yeah.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.